Shalom, shalom, Richmond. Shalom, Israel. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Brakatah to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shema Latah Shem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. I see starting out, we got Sister Raya in the building. Shalom, Shema Latah Shem Yahweh Shah Akwaf. Give everybody a couple seconds to get in here. I'm just getting off my slavery, trying to scramble, get everything together. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so let's clap it up. Shalom, shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is tonight's Brotherhood class, Virginia's Brotherhood class. Since 1969, we have been teaching the truth of the Bible, that Blacks, Latinos, Native Indians are God's chosen people. We are the people that spoke about in the book. We are the center of attention in that book. That book is FUBU. If you're old enough to remember what FUBU was, for us, by us. That entire book, that entire Bible, the God of Israel, the God that everybody copies and mimics and try to pretend and make their own. That's our God. That's the God of the Blacks. That's the God of the so-called Blacks, the so-called Latinos, the so-called Native Indians. That's their God that everybody tries to hijack and make their own. And since 1969, we have been teaching that truth under Commanding General Yohana. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We appreciate everybody being here tonight. And again, like I said, tonight is tonight's Brotherhood class. It's going to be pretty much a continuation of the class we had last week. It's really a topic. It's really a topic that we could talk about every day. Reason being, we have no idea what it means to be us. We have no idea what it means to be Black. We have no idea what it means to be Latino, what it means to be Native Indian, because all those titles that I just listed were titles given to us by the slave master. And along with those titles came the roles, the identities, the character that they wanted us to follow, the character, the people that they wanted us to be, it came along with those identities. So we think being Black, we think being Latino, we think Native Indian, we think of some of the most derogatory ways to conduct ourselves, the most hateful or deceitful ways to act amongst each other. And this is what the slave master taught us all across the board. So even by calling ourselves those so-called titles, Black, Latino, Native Indian, Argentinian, Colombian, Dominican, Jamaican, all those titles are given to us by the slave master. And the things that we do, the gods that we worship, we do without even realizing what we're doing. Like when the scriptures say, we know what we worship. Forgive me, you don't know what you worship. In that Christian church, they don't know what they worship. In that Muslim mosque, they don't know what they worship. In Buddhism, they don't know what they worship. Here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we know exactly who and what we worship. We know exactly the God that we worship. We worship the God of Israel. We do what the God of Israel says. We know who Christ is here. We know that Christ was a Black man from the tribe of Judah. We know that our history extends way beyond slavery. We know that when Moses was leading the Israelites out of Egypt, that was our people that he was leading out. So we know what we worship here. So again, thank everybody for being in class tonight. This is what we learn. This is where we sharpen our swords. And this is where we come again to learn who we are, because you're not going to learn that anywhere else. You're not going to be taught critical race theory anywhere else. You're not going to be taught who you are, your true identity. You can be taught to be a good American. You'll be taught to be a good Republican or a good Christian. You can be taught to be just about any of those things, but you will not learn your true identity, your true purpose and role in life outside of being here in the Israelite School and Universal Practical Knowledge. So I see we got a couple more brothers and sisters in class. So I want to give out a shout out to Trooper Kazakia, Shalom Yabashim Yabashabrakatah, Sister Don, Shalom Yahweh Shema Bashim Yabashah. Also Mataza Akara. Shalom Yabashim Yawashah Brakatah. Also Mataza Akara taught an awesome class last night. It was one of those heavy classes, those classes where, you leave and you almost feel like picking up the phone. I wanted to call Cap and maybe get a little counseling and make sure I could contain myself. It's so much of our history that they try to keep from us because it's so despicable, it's so deplorable, it's so evil, it's so wicked. And when you look at it, it's amazing that we're still here. This is how you know that we serve the God of Israel. Just how you know that that's our God. Under any other people, under the circumstances, like Officer Mataza Akara was bringing out last night, they wouldn't have made it. They would have been gone by now. They wouldn't have made it. All the weapons, the tricks. I was reading up a little bit more on what he was bringing out last night. They didn't even let the boys, in most cases, wear pants until they got older. Or sometimes they would let them wear them during the wintertime. Sometimes, as a part of demasculating them, all as a part of overly sexualizing us. We have been the oppressors, sex toy since the beginning. We have been oppressors, punching bag. I mean, you name it. The things that they've done to us over history and time. Again, I think I put it in the comments last night. Money not gonna fix that. Reparations can't fix that. An apology, the weak apologies that they give out over the years, over the generations, those weak apologies won't fix that. Nothing will fix that outside of God's judgment. That's it. Nothing else can fix that. Nothing else can fix all the bloodshed that's happened. Nothing else can fix all the pain, all the torture. I mean, pure, unadulterated torture we have experienced being here underneath this oppressor. Is to say it's inhumane isn't giving it enough credit. It isn't really speaking to exactly what it is to say it's inhumane. It's beyond inhumane. Any horror movie, a scary show, movie, or whatever you've watched, it has nothing on our real life trauma, pain, torture that we experienced then and that we experience now. And the fact that we are still here, the fact that we still try to be the good slave, it's an amazing thing, and I'm so thankful to Wada, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, that the Lord found me and and drew me in, and I found the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Because again, outside of this, you would be lost, because that's really the only way to survive here. Is to be unaware, and be disconnected from our true past, our true history. So again, that was an awesome class last night. His classes be getting me fired up, man, because like I said, this oppressor, the oppressor truly is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And damn right, Sister Raya, damn right. I mean, that this oppressor is, again, like the scariest movie you could ever see. The Freddy Krueger ain't got nothing on the oppressor. Michael Myers ain't got nothing on this oppressor. Jason ain't got nothing on the oppressor. This oppressor, our oppressor, he's worse than all of them combined. And it's crazy. A lot of those movies and stuff that those depictions that we see are really just stories about us as well. That's a couple more classes that I'm pretty sure we'll get into before it's all over, said and done with. I'm yonder about Mataza. I'm Officer Mataza Akara. Yeah, like y'all don't know if y'all I would advise you. I would I would want you to always make sure you catch General Hyman's, the General's, Commander General Hana's show after on Mondays, because on that show they go into a lot of different things. But if you have never seen a General Hyman breakdown, if you've never witnessed it firsthand, it's an amazing thing. He is so surgical when it comes to life, applying it to these scriptures and pulling out things that it'd be right in front of you, but you can't see it. Things that you'll want to try to verbalize, put into words. He'll put it so eloquently, and it's just so obvious. And so a lot of stuff that he brings out, like he was bringing out last night, this oppressor. We all we want to do is really just be his friend. We want to be his friend. Being an American is to discredit or discount everything that we've been through. The fact that we don't even think about it. You know, they have a thing called an Amber Alert. Let a little oppressor girl go missing. Oh, you get it all over your phone. Your phone, you know, I don't care if your phone is on silent, your phone is gonna holler and scream at you because a little oppressor girl is missing. And we're missing by the hundreds of thousands right now as we speak. They're trafficking our young boys, our young girls at the border right now as we speak. Every day I see a different notification pop up with this young sister is missing, this young brother is missing. If you've seen them, please let them let somebody know. And then you will see that same picture. Those pictures will come around. Now it's been 2 weeks. Now it's been 2 months. Right, but they don't report on it. They don't talk about it. They're not saying none of this, and we don't realize that we are in hell. We don't realize that we are in immediate danger, an immediate threat. Reason being, we don't listen to what the Most High tells us to do. We don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. And because we don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, we don't have the protection of the Lord. So by you being here tonight, by you being attending these classes, you learn how to get the protection of the Lord. You learn the things that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing, that the Lord doesn't want us to do, that we're punished, that we suffer, that we get his judgment as a result of us doing. And so it's very, very important. Again, that you catch these classes, you learn some of these things again, because some of this stuff be right in front of our face and we don't realize it and we don't see it. So we got a couple things we're gonna go over tonight. Again, we're gonna try to get to the character, to the core character of how we're supposed to be, of what it means to be an Israelite, because we're the Israelites. Everybody has hijacked our book and try to interject themselves in it, or hijack the book and say it's them in it, and we're not even in the story. We the stepkids of the story. You know what I mean? So it's an amazing thing to really understand and learn that this is our history. This is our history. This is our morality. This is our stability. This is our wisdom. This is our knowledge. This is how we govern ourselves. This is how we build a nation, by being here. And I'm right there with you, Trooper Kazaki. It's an incredible thing. The things that we have endured over time, the things that we endure to this time, that we endure now. The compassion that we show to everybody else, and we don't get a fraction of that back. We don't get a fraction of that back. The fact that they will look you in your face, convict you of a crime, say you did this, you did that wrong, when they've done everything wrong. And they continue to do everything wrong. They have destroyed the entire earth. The oppressor has destroyed the entire earth. But you need to follow every rule, law, and ordinance that they put out in front of you. Otherwise, we'll take your life from you. We'll take your children from you. It's just an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. Sister Raya says that 12 black girls missing within weeks in DC about a year ago, and it was in the news for less than 2 weeks. And I'm actually surprised, Sister Agua, that it was in the news that long. Because when I say that's a daily occurrence, I got this little news app on my phone where things pop up depending on where I'm at in the country. I'm always moving around for my slavery. When I say that's an everyday occurrence, and everyday occurrence where we unalive here, we're missing over here, police shoot black man here, a couple Latinos get killed here. It's an everyday, all day thing, and we just get like little snippets of it. If it's lucky enough, if it make it to the national news, we'll get it. Outside of that, you know, we're not concerned, we're not worried about it. And that's one of the things, you know what I'm saying, General Hyman brought out last night, where it's like we're so intertwined, or we're so concerned with the media, with sports, and what this entertainer is doing, and what this athlete is doing, and what this politician is doing. And when it really comes down to it, you being in here, we being in here, it's our job to build our nation. It's our job to highlight the things, the history, like Officer Mataza Akara was bringing out, because nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is going to do it, because by them doing that, that's a threat to this place. That's a threat to that empire. That's the only real threat to this oppressor. You think about the thousands of years, the hundreds of years, even here, the things that they've gotten away with, or at least they thought they've gotten away with, the things that we don't even care, we're not even concerned about. When you were, like I said, some of them stories that Officer Mataza Akra was bringing out last night. Again, I used to watch, make my kids watch Roots. I used to watch Roots, but none of the slave movies can even really compare when you get to actually read in the history, when you get to reading like some of the slave narratives. It's so despicable. It's so despicable, the things that they did to us. They treated us worse than the animals, worse than an animal. They have a thing here in this country called a humane society. Ain't that a trip? The Humane Society. They get out there and they protest, save the whales, and save the dolphins, and save this endangered species, and so forth. When they've done things that they will fight and protect and ride out for here for an animal, for a plant, for trees. Esau get out there and chain himself to a tree. You ain't cutting down this tree. But the things that they've done to us, they literally used to tie one hand, one foot to one horse, another hand, another foot to another horse, hit the horses. The horse would ride and split us in two. They took that image and put that on our jeans, on Levi jeans, and sold them to you, sold them to us. But they would get out there and fight for them horses. They'll fight for them horses. You better not treat them horses bad. Never mind the Negro, or never mind the body that we just split in two and half. And that we truly are a nation, the nation undesired. And it's sad because we don't even desire one another. We don't prefer one another. We don't love one another. And it's a sad, very sad thing. But in here we learn to love one another. That's what this brotherhood class is all about. And here we learn who we are. We gain our identity back in here. Shalom Yabashim Yabashah Brakatah to Officer Kwashah in the building. Shalom Yabashim Bashim Yabashah to Sister Coco. Shalom Yabashim Yabashah to Brother Stephen Baldwin in the building. And Shalom Yabashim Yabashah to Trooper Carl Sapar in the building as well. So again, the water for everybody being here tonight. We're gonna go ahead and get it on. Again, tonight's Brotherhood class. We like to start the Brotherhood class off the same way again, because this is what we lack the most in our community is brotherhood. We don't know what brotherhood is. We don't know how to show brotherhood. We couldn't point out a good example of brotherhood of our lives depending on it. We have become such individuals. We have become the best Americans. We have become the best citizens. And the whole time not realizing that your path or your payment, for you being a good citizen, for you being a good American, that comes at the cost of you hating your brother and your sister. So on here we try to reestablish what brotherhood is. And so the first question I'm gonna ask is brotherhood. What's synonymous with brotherhood? Who could tell me what's synonymous with brotherhood? If you can pick another word to sum up brotherhood. When that Bible's talking about brotherhood, because that Bible is all about us, and it's giving us the rules and regulations, the things that we're supposed to do as a people, and it's telling us what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to treat one another, how we're supposed to live with one another, how we do business with one another. When it's telling us that thing, what's another word that's synonymous with brotherhood? And I see some answers coming in. Give Trooper Kazaki a hand, sisterhood. Give Officer Mataza Akara a hand. He says sisterhood. My rib, Shalom Yahshua Hashem Yabashah. Give my rib a hand. She says sisterhood, and give Sister Ra'aya a hand. She says sisterhood. Brotherhood and sisterhood go hand in hand. Brotherhood and sisterhood go hand in hand. This place, this country, this oppressor. This, not only did he destroy us, not only did he make us the sex toys, not only did he just pillage our humanity, the things that they've made us do over time to one another, to abuse, to the abuse they made us inflict upon one another. the abuse they made us witness, our own brothers and sisters, it being inflicted upon them, and tying your hands so that you can't do anything about. The generations after generations after generation where they beat our manhood, they beat our womanhood, they beat essentially our brotherhood and our sisterhood out of us. And for your survival, you had to give up your brotherhood and your sisterhood. For your survival, you had to sacrifice your brotherhood, your sisterhood, your God. And here we get it back, and all you answered correctly. Brotherhood is synonymous with sisterhood. And if I had to replace brotherhood and sisterhood, if I had to come up with another word for brotherhood and sisterhood, what would that word be? What's another word for brotherhood and sisterhood? And if you know the precept, because again, in this place, we've learned the definitions of the oppressor. We've learned what the oppressor taught us. Certain things was we learned we learned hate. We learned hate from what the oppressor showed us hate was, which was really brutality and cruelty, and evilness and wickedness. And those are not hate. That's not hate. That's not hate. But that's what we learned from the oppressor. We learned that black was everything derogatory, dirty, evil, wicked. That was black, and white was pure and innocent and angelic and heavenly and so forth. Those are all definitions that the oppressor gave us to further us away from the truth, to keep us further and further away from the truth, so he can lie to us and we would accept those lies as the real truth. We would abandon our God. We would sacrifice our God, our heritage, our culture, and we would adopt his heritage, his culture, and eventually overall adopt Caesar Borgia, the oppressor, as our God. And that's what we've done. And I see some answers coming in. Sister Raya is on it. She says love, and she gave the precept. 1 John 5:3, give her a hand. Officer Mataza Akara said love. He gave the precept as well. 1 John 5:3. Truba Kazaki, he's on it. He says love, and he says 1 John 5:3. Also, Stephen Baldwin, give him a hand. He says love. And again, sisterhood and brotherhood are synonymous with love. They made us sacrifice our love. They made us sacrifice our love for each other. They made us sacrifice our love for the Most High in order to be successful here, in order to ease that pain a little bit here, in order to ease the oppression just a little bit. You sacrifice yourself, and I ease up off you a little bit. They might not abuse us. They might not abuse our women maybe only 3 times that week instead of 7 times that week. Maybe it'll be 3 or 4 times that week. They may only abuse those boys that they didn't allow to wear pants, maybe just 4 or 5 times this week. It won't be all 7 times this week. Maybe Massa would go and just take your woman while you was in the field working. He wouldn't take her right there in front of you, so you would have to sit there and watch it. If you would sacrifice a little bit of that love that you got for each other, if you would sacrifice that love you got for the Most High power. So generation after generation after generation, this was beat our brotherhood and our sisterhood. That love was beat out of us. It was beat out of us, and it was replaced with the love for America, replaced with the love for the oppressor, replaced with the love for Caesar Borgia, replaced with the love for everybody else except for ourselves. And that was your path to success. Shalom, Yahweh Shemal Bashim, Yahweh Shai, the sister of 9 in the building. That was your path to success by you trading each other, by you trading up on each other, by you selling your brother and your sister out, by you stabbing your brother and your sister in the back. That was your path to success. That's what you had to do to be successful here. That's how despicable, how wicked this oppressor is. And y'all gave a precept. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pull it up because we're going to prove it. We're going to prove it. The dangerous thing about defining things for yourself is if you don't really know what you're talking about, and you convicted and you believe what you're saying, you got passion behind what you're saying. The dangerous, the most unbrotherly, unsisterly thing about it, the way that you don't love your brother, your sister, how you show hate to your brother, your sister, is because you run the risk of teaching them something that's just absolutely not true, but you believe it, so they believe it as well. Because you got passion, they got passion. Well, that's brother such and such. If Officer Yaga said, it must be true. True Kazaki said it. Hey, that's my boy. He won't lie to me. It must be true. This is why it's very important that we don't go off our own understanding. You got to realize we had all these years to learn everything the wrong way. We learned everything the oppressor wanted us to learn for 20, 30, 40 years. We learned everything he wanted us to learn. We did everything he told us to do. We believed every lie that he told us. We believed it. And the oppressor, he's crafty. He's crafty. They know what they did to us. Even if we don't remember, even if we got to dig through the records, we got to dig through the documents, dig through the manuscripts to find out what they've done to us. Oh, they know very well what they've done to us. So they know that if we were to ever truly find out the truth, everybody not gonna be cool with them. Now you still got to select. You still got quite a bit. You got so many of us that love this place so much. We trim our ways so much. We'll do any and everything to be accepted. We'll do any and everything for that piece of paper with the slave master's face on it, with the oppressor's face on it. We do anything for it. We'll hurt each other for it. As long as we get that, we good. That selfishness, that being an individual, that's not what love is. That's not brotherhood and that's not sisterhood. That ain't no ninja-ish. That's not being black. That's not a black or brown thing. That's the oppressor thing. That's how the oppressor is. If you look over, if you turn on your news, if you look around, you can see the oppressor and all the other former oppressors and all the other heathen nations, all of them that hate the God of Israel, all of them that are enemies to the God of Israel, all of them that have taken advantage, pillaged and robbed, and abused the children of the Most High. All of them are gearing up, getting ready. They're getting ready for war. They're getting ready for war. That's their brotherhood and their sisterhood. Unaliving each other. That's their brotherhood, their sisterhood. But we've been underneath them so long. We've adopted so many of their ways. We do that to ourselves now, not realizing that's not a black thing. That's not a brown thing. That's not an Israelite thing. We're going to say it like that for the rest of it. That's not an Israelite thing. It's not an Israelite thing to hate your brother and sister. It's not an Israelite thing to not love your brother and sister, not care for your brother and sister, protect your brother and sister. And we're going to get that right here in 1 John 5:3. So let's pull that up. Right before class. Again, I'm scrambling trying to get it here, and everything crashed on me. I had to repopulate everything. So, but we're going to get it. We're going to get through it. If anybody has any questions throughout the class, please type it in the chat. If any of the brothers want to join the class, want to join the stream, by all means, I put the link in the chat for you as well. If any brothers, sisters that's out there that does want to join the class, just make sure that you're presentable before you jump on there. Make sure you're presentable. Sisters with their head covered, brothers with clothes and stuff on. And hey, we'll bring you in and we'll go from there. If you have any questions whatsoever, always make sure you type those in the chat. If I don't know the answer, then I will get an answer for you. One thing that I've learned being in this Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is there's nothing wrong with saying that you don't know something. One of the most dangerous things, and we finna pull it up right here, and you will see it right here. When I go to 1 John 5:3, you can go to any Christian church member. You can go to any of them and ask them, what's love? They probably, if they know anything about the Bible, they're probably going to go to Corinthians and say, well, love is enduring, and love is this, and love is that. And the main thing they're going to leave out the definition of love. They're going to leave out the definition of it. They're going to tell you what it means. They're going to tell you everything else. They're going to give you all the characteristics of it. They're going to give you all the qualities of it. But they're not going to tell you the definition of it. They're not going to tell you God's definition of it. So it's very important. 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says to prove all things. And if a man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. And that's how we should always be. If we're speaking, if we're talking about God, we're talking about love, we're talking about anything concerning our people, how you live, what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. We should have the definition behind it. We should know what we're talking about. Because again, if not, we run that risk of misleading our brothers and our sisters. And that ain't love. If I'm driving, I can't see I'm about to drive into a ditch and you following me, well, guess what? You're gonna ride into that ditch too. If I'm living dangerously, I'm living wrong, I'm doing everything adverse to what the Lord says do, and you following me, well, you're gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna suffer the judgment, you're gonna suffer his judgment as well. That ain't being a good brother. That ain't being a good sister. Part of us being good brothers and good sisters, practicing brotherhood and sisterhood is doing what the Lord say do, because we are a family. And we are a family, and as a family, we are punished together as a family. When they unaliving us at traffic stops and they pulling the one brother over, and you ain't got nothing in your car, but the last 4-5 brothers they see, they were smoking weed in the car. The last 4-5 brothers they see, they were doing something else illegal. So they gonna use that as an excuse, knowing they might know you legit. That's cool. But your brother down there, he wasn't. So I'm gonna use that to say it was you. How many of us get unalive for fitting the description? For fitting the description. We're so quick to accept the praise, to accept the glory, to accept the brotherhood and the sisterhood when it's a good thing. When you're hearing a conversation about LeBron, or you hearing a conversation about Dion, or you hearing a conversation about Michael Jackson or Jay-Z or Beyonce or something, we quick to go, well, yeah, that's how we do. Well, yeah, we can sing. Well, yeah, we smart. Well, yeah, we fast. Well, yeah, we strong. But when it's flipped and we're doing the absolute wrong things and we penalize and we punish for it, well, you can't judge everybody like that. That ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right. Why it's not right? Why it's not right? If we had that mindset to say that for the good and for the bad, that's my brother and my sister, we would change how we act. We would change how we respond to one another. We would change how we responded to the world. If we just did what this verse right here is talking about. So 1 John 5:3 says, for this is love. This is the love of God. Love has an actual definition. Love isn't how you feel. Love isn't roses every day. Love isn't sweet nothings in your ear. Love is none of those things. Love is not Christmas gifts on Christmas morning. That's not love. That's not love. That's not love. Love is not going to church every Sunday because I don't want to make mama mad. That's not love. None of that is love. This is the love. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. Simple, plain and simple. That we keep his commandments, referring to the laws, statutes, and commandments that's in the Bible. And it's more so than just that 10 they told you about. 622 laws in the Bible. It's more than just that 10 they told you about. Is that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. So like we normally do at this time, I want y'all to type in and give me a couple of those commandments. Who can give me a couple of those commandments? What's some of those commandments in the Bible that we're supposed to keep, that we're supposed to follow? Because that's an Israelite thing, following the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. That's not the oppressor thing. That's not an American thing. That's not an East Indian thing. That's not an African thing. And if you're new to the class, this is your first time attending, and you're a brother, you're a sister, let me free you. Let me free you from the lies and the myths, from the deceptions. You are not an African. We are not African. Our title has changed several times in this captivity. We done been African Americans. We done been colored. We done been Negroes. We done been Afro American. A doggone hairstyle. We done been some of any and everything except for who we truly are. We are the children of Israel. We are Israelites. So you are not an African. African is a continent that has over 50-something doggone countries in it. 50-something countries in it. And that's another way for them to mislead us, to throw us off of who we really are, by telling us that we're African and we're not African. All right, so let's get to some of these laws. Let's get to some of these commandments that's coming in. Sister Raya says tithing. Tithing is very important. You can't build up a nation without the funds and without the resources, and the Lord established that in the beginning. Though, so 10% of what you get, ma'ashara, in the Hebrew, that 10% of whatever you get, if you make $1,000 at work for your slavery, well, $100 of that should go to the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Real simple. Real simple. That's how we build up a nation. Can't build up that nation without it. We're so quick. So many of us get upset about the money. We get upset about the tithing. But we've been going to that church. We'll go to that Lion church. I just came from the gas station, and I saw, I could tell by the suit and the wingtip shoes and the cute 5 Infinite outside that this pastor right here, he been getting his tithe of money. He been getting that tithe. He been getting them tithe. So we don't mind paying tithes to the Lion pastors. We don't mind paying money to the entertainers. We don't mind paying money to the athletes. Oh, that's my team, my team. My team, my team. You don't get nan check from that team. You don't get free tickets to the game. You know what I'm saying? You're not a season ticket holder. And even if you are, your only benefit is you having them tickets, but you're gonna pay that money to get it. But that's your team, your team. We don't mind paying for the self-indulgences. We don't mind paying for none of those things. But when it comes to giving the money, paying tithes, like the Lord say pay tithes, a lot of us have an issue with that. And it shouldn't be that way. Shouldn't be that way. This is how you build up a nation. So if you off the money you make off your slavery, you win the lottery and so forth. My Ashura, a tenth of that supposed to go to the priests and the prophets in the Israel School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And I guarantee, won't be buying no jets here. We won't be buying no jets and no Lamborghinis for our daughters or nothing like that. No, that money is gonna go to build up a nation. Commander General Yohana is gonna make sure that money goes to build up a nation. A nation. Something that this country isn't going to do. This oppressor's not going to do. All the black companies, they not going to do. None of them going to do it. None of them do it. How you know they're not? What's the proof they have? They're not going to do it because they haven't did it this whole time. They've never been interested in doing that. But here, this is all we do. Since 1969, it's all we do. It's all we going to do. Why? Because the Lord said to do it. And like you see, this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And we keep his commandments here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Officer Murtaza Akara said, don't deal drugs. We're not supposed to deal drugs. We're not supposed to deal drugs. Dealing drugs is not a Israelite thing. That's an oppressor thing. How can you prove it? Prove it like this. If I sell drugs, what does that do? What's the ramification behind me selling drugs? Who can tell me? Well, we got a whole bunch of laws and commandments, y'all, and we're gonna go through. But who can tell me the ramifications behind me selling drugs? What happens if I sell drugs? What's one of the results? One of the negative consequences? What's one of the unbrotherly, unsisterly, me not loving my brother, my sister? What's one of the things that can happen if I sell drugs? Because, a lot of us in the world, a lot of us in that church would say, well, I ain't hurting nobody. It's a victimless crime. I ain't selling it. I ain't, if not them, I'm the one doing it. If I don't do it, somebody else going to do it. I know y'all done heard that one before. So what's one of the ramifications on one of us selling drugs? And Sister Raya is on it. She said modern day slavery. Modern day slavery. Yep. Because that 13th Amendment said, even though we go to our slaveries and slavery never, ever, ever ended, well, they got an official slavery once you're behind those bars, and it's over 2 million of us locked up behind those bars now. So that's one of the ramifications of it. And if I'm behind on bars, how can I fight for a nation? If I'm behind on bars, how can I help build this nation? How can I be a brother there for you, a sister there for you? If I'm behind there, I can't. Not only that, I done set the example and the precedent for somebody else, another brother or sister to follow that. What else? Killing our nation. Sister Raya said, killing our nation. And that goes right along with what Officer Murtaza Akara said, making your people drug addicts. Also goes right along with what Stephen Baldwin said, that getting locked up and killing our people. So what happens is, again, I sell it. I influence another brother or sister to sell it. Not only by me influencing them, but I'm going to sell it to another brother or sister. So now they're addicted. So now their kids, their wives, their kids, their mothers, their grandmothers, they can't depend on them because now they're a drug addict. All because I wanted my pockets fat. It's a trickle-down effect. So now you got a child growing up without mother or without brother or without father, without nobody to watch over. That leaves their door open for the oppressor, for everybody else to come back in and take advantage of them, to abuse them however they see fit, or they get thrown into the system so somebody else can abuse them however they see fit. No protection. No protection. See, a lack of brotherhood creates no protection. It leaves us out there wide open to be hurt and taken advantage of by all the other nations. All the other nations. So again, getting locked up, and then that's not even to mention the death behind it. How many of us die from overdoses every year? And this isn't a new thing. Fentanyl is one of the newest things they're talking about now, but you had fentanyl, you had heroin, you had crack, you had sherm, you had opiates, you can go down the list. This is not a new thing. It's an old trick that they just keep redressing up because they've told us through our music, through entertainment, they've told us that that's a black thing. That's a Latino thing. That's a Native Indian thing. And it's not. By reading this Bible, we learned that no, that's not an Israelite thing. We love a good strong drink. But even with that strong drink, we supposed to still be in control. We can't be a drunkard. Why? Because if I'm a drunkard, I can't be a good brother, a good sister. And I might, and same thing I just listed, same thing as far as me running the risk of being incarcerated, running the risk of me not being there for a brother or sister for protection. What else we got? True, because Kazaki said our people will lose brotherhood, start unaliving each other. Exactly. They start unaliving each other. Because if you grew up in a household where mother, father strung out, you had to fend for yourself. Nobody taught you right or wrong. Nobody taught you what you should be doing. You don't grew up watching the television. You see, being a gangster is the American way. You grew up to be a gangster as well. They got there. They didn't mind selling to my father, my mother, to get their money. So why can I unalive to get what I got to get to succeed? So we lose that brotherhood and that sisterhood is deteriorated, and then we don't have it anymore. We don't have it anymore. And see, the thing about this oppressor, he gonna make you love him. We should voluntarily love each other, but this oppressor, he gonna make you love him. He gonna put it in your face all day long. He gonna put it in the music all day long. You gonna love him. And whatever you do, why? Because he got his hands in everything to make sure that you come to him and you don't go to your God, you don't go to your people, you don't build up your people, you build up America. You build up the things that make them strong and things that make us weaker. So again, that's the snowball effect of just doing drugs. Also, Tazakara said leading to robbery and stealing, and all these to being locked up. Again, we started to steal from one another. If you're a little bit older, you remember that crack era. Well, you can leave nothing around no crackhead. It could be your auntie, it could be your uncle, you could be your favorite one. But everybody in the family know, oh no, they on them rocks. You don't leave nothing around them. Don't look. I remember when I was younger, my mama went off on me one time because she must have her purse was out, and I ain't go. I think one of the aunties I came to the house, she went there, and I ain't go put. You ain't put my purse up, what? You can't. Don't believe you can't leave nothing out around no crackhead. It ain't. And it's the drugs. It's them demons. It's gonna change who they were before. It's going to change how we treat each other. Yeah, we might have never stole before, but you're going to steal now to feed that habit. You're going to feed now to keep that demon happy. And we don't realize that. So I can sell it and say, I'm not hurting nobody. I'm hurting somebody. That's somebody mother, somebody sister, somebody auntie. That's somebody father, somebody uncle, somebody brother, somebody grandfather. And again, it all winds up with, and let's say somebody done stole from me. So now we get into it. We get to fighting or whatever. That runs the risk of incarceration. The same. So even if I'm not even using them, I'm still affected by it because somebody else is on it. And that's how that works. It's always a snowball effect. It's always a chain effect. We are all connected. So what I do affect Officer Murtaza Akara. We can be in different cities, different states. It don't matter. What I do affect him. What he does affects me. And if we realize that we operate like that, we'd be so much better off. Sister Ryan says single mothers. Exactly. How many people grew up without a mother, without a father because they was locked up or because they were strung out, because they got taken away from their mother and their father? That's Black 101. But that's us 101 based on what the oppressor wants for us, based on what the oppressor designed for us. Sister Raya also says sisters and children without protection and guidance and knowledge of the Most. Exactly. We don't get the guidance of the Most High. You'll get some lying church to come up in there and scoop the kids up with an angel tree and give them some gifts for Christmas. And now they think, well, ain't nobody else gave me nothing, but the church gave me some. So now they whole sense and idea of the Most High is warped now. They bought in now with old funky Christmas gift. They got them for life. Because they come with the guys of we're doing the right thing and we love you. But again, they don't know what love is. We know what love is. Shalom Yahweh Shema, Tabashim Yahweh Shada, Sister Nazim Anna. She said, Salaki, I just saw a brother unalive 100 feet in front of me about an hour ago behind drugs. And I was just checking on my car to shop that. And exactly what we're talking about. And I would be surprised. Well, I won't say be surprised, but depending on where it's at, what happened, if it was a popular spot, how many unalivings it was that day, you might not even see it on the news. If Sister Nizam and I hadn't came in here and told us about it, you might not even see it on the news because that's just how much they care about us. And it's an everyday, all day thing. Everyday, all day thing. This is not normal. That ain't normal. That's not a normal thing for the sister to see that right in front of her. But that's a normal thing, being in captivity. That's a normal thing here because we follow the oppressor, and the oppressor had told us that's the normal thing. That's an everyday thing. How many of our children grew up and seeing that? Even was where the sister was at. How many children was there in that same vicinity that saw that too? Now they got that. Now they got that to think about for the rest of their lives. Who that brother that got unalive? He probably was a father, an uncle, a brother, grandfather. Same, so the same things that we just listed going down, right there in front of you, less than an hour ago, and this is an everyday, all day thing. And I guarantee that was an hour ago. I guarantee the last 60 seconds, it's gonna happen somewhere else. In the next 60 seconds, it's gonna happen again to one of us. And that's just how rampant, how bad it is. There'll be multiple of them in the next 5 minutes. But this is all because we don't know what love is. We've come up with our own definition, and not even our own definition. We've utilized the oppressor's definition of what love is. We listen to the oppressor. We don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Sister Raya said it's sad. It's absolutely sad. Our whole state, our captivity here is sadness. It's filled with sadness, with turmoil, with tribulation, unaliving, and it's all because we don't follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. We don't have the protection of the Most High. Sister Nazam said the first time I ever saw it up close, I just wept, froze up and wept, and didn't think to run. And again, because if it is your first time, it can be a very traumatizing thing. Well, and then you're a sister, you in here, so you actually love your brothers and your sisters. So Barak Yahweh Yahweh shot that you came out there safe. Salakia, you had to see that. And that's the world we in. That's this oppressor's world. And that's why we come to these classes. That's why we learn what we learn. That's why we follow the Most High, so we can get salvation from this place, salvation from this oppressor. So none of our brothers and sisters ever have to be on drugs again. None of our brothers and sisters never sell drugs again. That's not even an option, because they know what it is to be an Israelite. They're not just trying to be an African American. They're not trying to be that no more. They have no desire to be a Mexican no more. They have no desire to be a native Indian no more. They don't want to be Jamaican no more. They don't want to do and be nothing but an Israelite, who the Most High called them. They want to be Benjamin. They want to be Levi. They want to be Judah. They want to be Gad. They want to be Reuben. They want to be everything the Lord called them, because that comes with no drugs. That comes with protection and safety. That comes with the blessings of the Most High. So the water for all that. What else we got for the laws? What else we got for the laws? And again, that's just one law. That's one law. You see how we were able to pull out all the different ramifications behind breaking that one law. And that's how this thing worked. The Bible says the law is perfect, able to convert one's soul. What we come up with ain't perfect. The things that we want to do ain't perfect. I was listening to a brother earlier today, and he said, "Don't." He said, "I don't want. I don't ask the Lord for what I want. What I want might hurt me. What I want might hurt the next person. I hurt my brothers or my sisters. It ain't got nothing to do about what I want. It got everything to do about what the Lord wants. The Lord wrote a law, came up with a law that's perfect for us to protect us, and not just us, but protect all the other brothers and sisters that's around us. That's what love is. That's what real love is. Real love is protection. It's safety. Real love is brotherhood and sisterhood. The only love you're going to get like that is the Most High's love. That's it. Can't get it doing your own version, your own sense of love. Triple Kazaki said not eating pork. Same thing, not eating pork. Not eating pork. We don't even realize the ramifications behind that. You can be talking to a Christian. You can be talking to a Christian, and they'll look at something like that like it's so small, it's so little, it's so minute. But just eating pork, that can have some of the same ramifications that we just talked about with the drugs. How many of us, got high cholesterol, diabetes, cancer, all the different diseases that come with you eating pork, eating unclean food that the Lord told you not to eat? Oh, I love Big Mama. Big Mama loved us, but Big Mama gone now because Big Mama loved bacon. She didn't love you more. She loved eating that bacon. And that sounds like a harsh thing to say, but that's the truth. That's the reality. If she loved you, she wouldn't eat no bacon. How you know? Because the Lord says, 1 John 5:3 says, for this is love, that we keep his commandments. So if she loved you, she wouldn't eat no bacon. Because see, her by her not eating that bacon, she still be around. Why? Because this is love. The law is perfect. We don't realize that the law is perfect because the church has taught us that it's something so minute. The church has taught us that it don't matter if you break the Lord's laws. He's still going to love you. And it just don't work that way. It just don't work that way. It's never worked that way. Never, ever, ever worked that way. That's why that church is so despicable. With all the things we learned about our pain and our history, what they've done to us, the very thing to protect us, to give us solace, to actually give us peace, the church took that away. Martin Luther King took that away. Your pastor, he takes that away from you. He don't even give you that option. He don't even tell you what you're doing wrong. Don't even tell you. If it's like you getting putting on punishment or getting beat every day, you go home and you don't even know what you did wrong. Or you come in and it's a belt. They go to belt. They go to belt. They go to belt. They go to belt. Nobody ever tells you what you did wrong. The Lord told us what we did wrong, what we doing wrong. The pastors don't tell you. The mosques don't tell you. Politicians not gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you what America wants you to do. They're gonna tell you to be a good drug dealer. They're gonna tell you all the pork you want. It's the other white meat. Think about that. They made a whole slogan, a whole campaign saying it's the other white meat. Pork on itself got worms, it got cancer, it has tumor cells in it by itself. But they come out and say it's the other white meat. Because anything that's opposed, that's adverse to the Most High, to the Most High God, our power, these laws, statutes, and commandments, that's what they're going to teach us. That's what they're going to teach us. So yeah, eating pork, same thing. Same thing. Make sure we ain't getting no new comments while I was saying, okay, cool. And then, okay, here we go. We do got one. Sister Raya said, you break one law and it opens you up to the next and the next. Exactly. Exactly. It just like I'm not gonna get back on the drugs too much, but it's just like smoking weed. Weed has always been known as a gateway drug. Couldn't tell me that for years. I don't believe that, but it's true. It's true. It is. If you break one, it just makes it easier for you to break the next one. You might not be into that right now. You'll be into it later on. If I can eat a little bit of pork here, well, the Lord, he ain't really mad about that. I can be mad about that. He can be mad about me doing that too. Yeah, I stole it, but I needed it. Lord, you know I'm broke. You know I ain't got no money, Lord. He know my heart. Lord know my heart. You know my heart. She was asking for it, Lord. But she's getting on my nerves, so I left her, Lord. No, Lord know my heart. He know my heart. It makes it easier for you to do everything that you want to do. But like when we did we had a Day of Atonement yesterday. The Day of Atonement wasn't about what we wanted to do. That was about the brothers and sisters, about a nation. That's what makes you stronger. But the more and more you do what you want to do, you don't do what the Lord wants you to do, you just get weaker and weaker. So that by you getting weaker and weaker, it opens you up, like Sister Raya said, to do every other sin that's in the book that's gonna come along. And you'll do it. It's just a matter of time. Sister Nazam Anna said that's why we die at a higher rate of high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease. Exactly. Leaving the children to fend for themselves. How many people don't grew up in orphans, in orphans or adoption homes, or with what's the word I'm looking for? It's a word I'm looking for. I can't think of it right now. But adoptive homes, child protection services, all of that. Reason being, because the only person that was there to take care of you, because your mother was strung out, your father was strung out, was grandma. But grandma loved bacon, grandma loved pork, ate it every day. So now she gone. So now there's nobody to protect you. Now there's nobody to protect you. A lot of times when we unalived or we're not here no more, we don't have the money and the resources to foster care. There you go. Sometimes I cry. Read my mind. Foster care is exactly what I was thinking about. Foster care. Sister Ryan said it well at the water, foster care. But a lot of us grew up in foster care because there's nobody else there. The drugs are ran through the family. Abused, jail, and then old pork come through. So the last ones you had that could have took care of them, they not there. They gone too. They gone too. We can't afford the medical costs that come behind that. It's crazy how, again, the smallest thing we think small because the church and them taught us is small, magnifies and blows up to detriment to the whole entire society. Sister Nazama said I was going harder, but after the day, it lets me know to go harder in His truth. ISUPK, home on the truth, absolutely, absolutely, 100%. And that's me every day, because you're gonna get. The Bible says, "Don't get weary in well doing." It says, "Don't get weary in well doing." I might try to pull that before we get up out of here tonight, but I got a couple more scriptures to try to get to. But yeah, but it says, "Don't get weary in well doing," because this it also says that this place wear the saints out. Says where the saints out. Sister Rod said facts are aqua. Damn right. Damn right. And that goes for all of us. You got to realize, like, when Officer Mataz Aqua was bringing all that stuff out last night, the trauma that we've experienced is inhumane. It's unheard of. I never forget it. I always think about it when I think about PTSD. That marathon bombing happened. Marathon bombing happened. One bomb went off. I never forget. A couple weeks, months later, whatever. White lady, white man, couple of them on television talking about they suffer from PTSD. All they can remember is the loud noise going off, and then the sirens. And I'm thinking to myself, so you asking for a check, about to get a check for the rest of your life. PTSD, medicines, check the whole nine, can't work, can't do anything. My nerves is just rattled. When you think about the stuff Officer Mataz Aqua was bringing out last night, that's just one instance. That's just the abuse. That's just the sexual exploitation. That's just that one part, that one facet. And it was so many different facets. That one facet, that one thing, that destroys you forever. That destroys a person, a nation, a society, a community forever. Forever. So if we don't be the ones that teach it, if we don't be the ones that stay strong in this truth, to get up every day and fight even harder, won't be nobody else to fight. Nobody's gonna do it. So you are absolutely correct, Sister Nazama. If we don't do it, ain't nobody else gonna do it. And when you get tired, the Bible says, "Don't get weary in well doing. Just go harder." You get tired, go harder. Go harder. I was good for the Day of Atonement yesterday. Got right to them last couple hours, and I could start to feel it. For me, the food part wasn't that rough. It was the drink as well. As long as I got me a little bit of water, I feel like I can get through couple hours, but not having both. But what kept me going? Well, every time I started to think about it, right? I would think, I got brothers and sisters out there right now hungry, can't eat. I would be riding. I a couple of times I'm riding. I stop at the gas. I see a brother out there, nothing to eat. See a brother out there. He just he begging to feed a drug habit, and you can see it. So for me, I just try to, and that's how we should always be. When it gets hard, it gets tough. Think about our brothers and our sisters. Just like Sister Nazama and I said, think about our brothers and our sisters, and then and realize if we don't do it, ain't nobody else gonna do it. And when you tired, that's the test. That's time to go. It's time to go harder. Time to go harder. Time to do more. Time to work harder. Time to earn our place in this everlasting kingdom. Earn our place with the Most High. Earn our protection from the Most High by going hard and hard in this truth. And if we don't do it, nobody else is gonna do it. Nobody else is gonna do it. They don't have it in them to do it. That the trauma that we done suffered, they beat all our brotherhood out of us. They beat our sisterhood out of us. They beat the manhood out of us. We don't even know to fight no more. We in our fighting, we fighting for the oppressor. We're gonna fight for the oppressor before we fight for each other. But that comes from the trauma. That comes from the trauma. That comes from everything that we've been through. That comes from us not following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. That comes from us not doing what it says right here in 1 John 5:3. Love like the Most High say love. My rib said, men not shaving their face. Exactly. I'm not no fan of Tyler Perry. I can't stand Tyler Perry. I can't stand him. The reason why I can't stand him, I think, I always grew up thinking Atlanta was black, like black excellence. I don't even like that phrase no more, because you go there and all you see is trying to be politically correct. You see Sodomite City, perfect. Sodomite City. I keep it in biblical terms. You go there and it's Sodomite City. Our men want to be women, our women want to be men, and then it's about 250 something more genders in between all of those. We don't think about it, but we learned to shave our faces and look like little babies and look like little boys, because again, we learned last night from Officer Montaza, just on this side, we was the sex toys, but that was before also in Egypt as well. So that's where we learned those customs, man. To shave our face, not look manly, not be men, not put mascara and all this mess on your face, draw lines and stuff all on your head to appease the slave master, to appease the oppressor. So all of that is important, especially now. You fast forward to now, you get to 2023 when none of the men want to be men no more. I go to the store. I was looking yesterday, and every man I see got a damn purse. Every last one of them got a purse. It's the thing now. Old man, young man, everybody got a damn purse. And all I can see is my grandma, my mama with their pocketbook, because that's what it was. That's what it was called. It's not even considered taboo no more. Every man got a damn purse now, and all that has to go. We don't tie that to shaving of your face. We don't tie that to our women not wearing men garments and our men not wearing women garments. Everybody laughed at Medea. Oh, Medea was packing pistols. Medea was smoking weed. Oh, Medea was cussing everybody out. Medea didn't take no mess from the judge, from the police, from nobody. It was all big fun game joke till you get now. Now we got 250 something genders. Medea, Tyler Perry, he's a cross-dresser. He's a drag queen. Same ones that is at the school teaching our kids or putting on shows for the elementary school kids now. Well, us as a people, we didn't have no problem showing the drag queen, the cross-dresser to the kids. When they was watching them Tyler Perry plays, when they was watching the TV show, ha, funny. Now they're in the schools teaching. Ain't so funny no more. And it all, again, comes from us not following or not doing what the Most High told us to do. Not following the law, statutes, and commandments the way that he told us to follow. And that's the results of them. Sister Rice said, no doubt that the strength is just gone, especially in Atlanta. And also Mataz Ross said, damn man bad. Exactly. And then they always coming up with a old fancy title, old metrosexual way to say it. They purses. They damn it purses. They man purses. And everybody is rocking them now. I mean, with a straight face. Straight face. I heard one rapper say that's where he keep his glizzy at. That's where he keep the piece at. Yeah, okay. Sound good. But yeah, it's shaving our faces, it's a reason why, again, the law is perfect, able to convert one's soul, but not following that law, they converted our soul to be good Americans. They converted our soul to be the sodomites that they wanted us to be. They converted our soul to be the wicked, be the thieves, be the evil that they wanted us to be. We just like the oppressor now. Why? Because we didn't follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Officer Matazah also said, keep the Sabbath. I don't care what church person you talk to your grandma or so forth, the church, always try to make it simple. Bible says Sabbath day, seventh day is the holy day. At the very least, why you go to church on Sunday? That don't matter. But that gets back to what the sister was saying. Break one law, you don't mind breaking the rest of them. And overall, eventually, what it really means is they've taught us that the laws do not matter. Most of them believe that there's no more law. Christ came to do away with all the law. Ain't no law at all. And it's amazing. They say it's no more law. Okay, cool. So can I unalive you right now if I feel like? No, that ain't right. Hold on. But if there's no law, what's stopping me from doing it? If I snatch that pocketbook you got right now, is that right? No, you can't do that. That's wrong. Why is that wrong if there's no law? Real simple. Why is it wrong if there's no law? If there's no law, that's not wrong. But that's, again, being that individual. Oh, they're going to protect themselves. They're going to protect the circle. They're going to be individuals. They're going to be good Americans. They're going to be good Democrats and Republicans. But they're not thinking about the rest of the nation. They're not thinking about the rest of the brothers and the sisters. And that's not brotherhood and that's not sisterhood, because that's not love. You loving yourself, you being selfish and loving yourself, that's not love. Love is selfless. That's an Israelite thing. Being selfless, that's an Israelite thing. That's a real Israelite thing, being selfless. All right, what else we got? We also got keep the high holy days. We kept it yesterday. Our high holy days actually mean something. They mean something. They got a meaning behind it. Not only do they have a meaning behind it, they're there to remind us of what the Most High has done for us and remind us what we need to do to keep the protection of the Most High, to keep him doing for us. Sister Raya said they more feminine than a sister. Exactly. And it's amazing. And I don't want to get sidetracked on the sodomites, but like a lot of our sisters open that door up. I remember the Housewives shows. Now I was wondering why those got these dudes on there with purses and skirts, and you letting them do your hair. Then you see shows where they teaching you how to dress. Huh? How is that man gonna teach you how to dress? You're a woman. How's that man gonna do your hair? How? And over time, now they're trying to replace the sisters. Oh, they more feminine than the sisters is. When they can't be feminine because they're not no female. But they're more feminine than the sisters are. And what that really boils down to, they can't stand that woman. They can't stand you. They can't stand you. They can't stand you. They got to pretend to be you. Or they got to pretend to be you, and they know they can never be you. And our women didn't see it coming. A lot of them starting to see it now, though. They definitely starting to see it now. They didn't see it before. And again, it all has to go back to us not following these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, so we're gonna get through a couple of these rest again, because it's so crazy. The laws and stuff that y'all are bringing up, is crazy, because outside of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, you don't even know. You don't know. You don't know why the Lord is mad at us. You don't know why our neighborhoods is filled with drugs, unaliving, crime, danger. Everywhere you look, you turn. You don't know why the sister seeing a brother being unalive behind drugs right in front of you. It's because we don't follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, and we don't think that they're no big deal. My rib said not eating pork, shrimp, crawfish, lobster, mussels. Damn right, and it all goes back and it's a couple of stories out now. You got flesh-eating bacteria diseases that's out. You got a joint called rat lung form COVID that's out right now. It's a couple of different diseases, and all of them go right back to that the mussels, shellfish, stuff that we're not supposed to eat. Goes right back to it. You can't make this up. Oysters, mollusks, shrimp, lobster, crab. We're not supposed to eat none of that mess. So now when people are being unalive behind eating it, and these diseases are popping up, you get a COVID, you get a rat lung form COVID right now. The Bible says the Lord will not be mocked. He will not be mocked. Now they're not gonna come out and tell you that. They're gonna try to dress it up. They try to dress it up so much. They tell you something, any and everything else except for, well, they ate this and this is what happened. They're not giving you the direct cause and effect, because they don't want you to know. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to know. Like the sister was saying, well, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancers, all that affects us. We're one of the smallest populations in the country, but we're number one for every affliction there is. We're number one for it. That's not even mathematically possible, but it is biblically possible. It's possible because we don't follow those laws, statutes, and commandments, and that's a result of it. Sister Ryan said the dietary law, same thing we've been talking about. My rib says loving and respecting our brother. Loving our brother as if he was your own. Christ said you can hang all of the commandments on this one, right on these two right here. Sister Ryan said the same thing, loving our neighbor and my nation. If we just did that alone, it would be impossible for me to sell drugs, because by me selling drugs, again, we go through that long list of what's going to happen. Not just to me, but to my brother and my sister. Can't do it. Won't do it. It's impossible for me to use them. We went through that long list of the results of me even using them. We went through the long list of the results of me eating pork. The results of me not following the dietary law. So if I love my brother, my nation, my brothers and my sisters like I love myself, couldn't do none of those things. That's what real love is. If I love my brothers and my sisters like I love myself, of course I'm going to follow all the high holy days. Why? Because the Lord commanded us to. And when we don't do what the Lord commanded us to do, we suffer the judgments and the punishments of the Lord. That's going to fall on me and my brothers and my sisters, on the whole entire nation. So I'm going to do it because I want my other brothers and sisters to do it, because I want all of us to be under the protection of the Lord. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Sometimes I cry, said tithing is the only law Christianity believes in. Exactly. If the only law that they care about is that money that they get at the end of the day, because that buys them the Infinities and the Bentleys and the Lamborghinis and the Benzes and the 2 and 3 jets that they get. That's how they get those things. So they care about that law. They care about that law. And to show you how brainwashed our people is, our people will say in the same breath, there is no law. Christ got rid of the law, but I'm going to make sure I get my 10%. That's a law, right? The witchcraft is so strong. When you sell drugs, that's a witch. When you use drugs, that's witchcraft. But the influence of the oppressor is so strong. I'm going to follow a law, but I don't follow the laws. And that makes perfect sense to them. In the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, you get that vision back. You start to see again. You get your reading comprehension back. So you see a law is a law. We're supposed to follow the law, and then we got to follow the law. But again, that's the only law that they want to follow is the tithing law. Okay, I think we got to all of these modern day. Yep. Okay, back. So we back to we went through all the different laws, or some of the laws, statutes, and commandments that we're supposed to follow that we don't follow, and we suffer as a result of us not following. What else we got down here? Trooper Kazaki said, now the Transformers. I'm getting good at this being politically correct. I'm gonna master this thing. I'm gonna have nicknames for everything. Now the Transformers said they are more women than the actual real woman. Exactly. It came out before, and they said that they came out before and said your I think I can say vagina. Your vagina is a bonus hole now. That's what they call it. They don't call a woman a woman. She's a cis woman. They don't call a man a man. That's a cis man. So like Trooper Kazaki said, they more women than the women, and the men ones is more men than the men. It makes no sense whatsoever, because in the Bible we learn that the Lord said that I make male and I make female. Because I make male and I make female. And also Taza Akra says that Captain Natazak Shah says that's not food. Exactly. It's not food. It's not food. Those are little trash compactors. Those are garbage bins, disposals. They're made to clean the earth. They're made to clean the earth. And and we touched on some of the stuff on the peripherals when it came to the dietary law. The dietary law goes deeper than that, though. I was going to pull up a slide that shows that it says hottest summer 2023, hottest summer ever. Well, guess what? That ties back to the dietary law. When you eat all the stuff in the water that you're not supposed to eat, and you change things in the water, you make the temperature hotter. The water's polluted and so forth. It just compounds upon each other. It compounds upon each other. All that, everything is a cycle. Everything affects one another. We don't realize that, because we didn't design it. The Most High designed it. That's why he told us the things that he told us. The other nations don't know that, or they don't care, because they're not us, and he didn't give that to them. He gave their law to us. He didn't give it to them. He gave it to us. Sister Raya says, I'm a sister in Bill right now, but because I love my sister, I try to share only the truth, even if I struggle with some aspects myself. Exactly. A good example is that yesterday, Day of Atonement. It's some brothers and sisters that may struggle with that Day of Atonement, but for the other brothers and sisters, they struggle and they got through it. There's some things you're gonna come into the law. You may have been on your own your whole life. So it's harder for you to comprehend some of the different aspects of some of the different elements of the law, because you can't see the other side of it. You can't see the end. You don't have the vision to see it yet. But by you standing in the truth, by you adhering to the law, statutes, and commandments, you get stronger. And the stronger you get, the stronger your vision gets. The stronger your mind gets, you start to be able to work out, oh, this is why, this is that. For a lot of the sisters, the sharing your man, having multiple wives, that's a difficult one. But when you look at the ramifications with the single motherhood, a single mother household, 80-some% more likely for that child to be incarcerated. 80-something%. You think about it, if we didn't have that, even had that concept of monogamy in our mind, we would have no single households. We wouldn't have any single households. Monogamy started with the Romans, aka the oppressor. They started monogamy. Around the same time they started pederasty, with older men sleeping with younger boys. That was never part of our culture. That was an oppressor thing. That wasn't an Israelite thing. It wasn't. It's just that we've been under it so long, it makes sense to us now. We've adopted so many of those ways now. Now it makes sense now, even though it should never make sense. But you think about it. Think about the class we had last night. Some of Taza Akara was going over those treacherous, those evil, wicked things they did. How they made us abuse one another. Sometimes sons with mothers and sisters and aunties, because they put a bag over your head and had you do it. Because it was no law for a sister to be abused by a brother, none whatsoever. So that sister was pretty much free reign for anybody that wanted her on the plantation at any given time. That's a horror movie. But if you think about what Officer Mataza Akara brought out last night, then you fast forward to now. If we all knew that, it don't make sense for none of our women. We shouldn't have no sexy reds. We shouldn't have no Suki Hunters. We shouldn't have no Cardi B's. We shouldn't even have no damn Beyonce's. Not all our women should be covered up from head to toe. They should be looking like the Arab women where you can't see none of their damn eyes. Why? Because for generations on generations on generations, they didn't have no rights to their body. None. But you look at what we really you got Sexy Reds, you got Cardi B's, you got Nicki Minaj. Well, I don't know about Nicki Minaj because I don't think she one of us. But you got that element. You got that. It doesn't make sense. The only reason it makes sense is because we don't been under this oppressor that long. That's it. That's the only reason it makes sense. It doesn't make sense for us to love our oppressor. It makes no sense whatsoever for us to love our oppressor. But it does to a lot of us. Why? Because we've been under this oppressor that long. So that's why we struggle with some of the laws. Why? Because we've been doing the opposite of the law for so many years, so many different generations. But by being here, by knowing the law, by knowing that the law is perfect, by knowing the words of that the Most High left for us, for me, it erases when the Bible says, lean not to your own understanding, that's what it's talking about. Lean not to your own understanding. Why would we understand? We done been under this oppressor for generation upon generation upon generation upon generation, and they tied our survival. They tied our literal survival into pleasing them, into appeasing them, into being the biggest sinner ever. By you being the biggest sinner, that's success. By you being the biggest sinner, you might live another day. By you being the biggest sinner, you might live another day. I'm gonna ease your oppression, your pain, your suffering, just that much less, just that little bit less. That's what they did to us. So none of the stuff in the Bible should make sense to any of us. The fact that it does make sense to us in here, that's because the Lord wanted us to see it, and everybody can't see it. Christ always spoke in parables because it wasn't for everybody. It's for the elected. It's for the ones that he wanted to hear. It's for his sheep. He said, when I speak, my sheep gonna hear me. We heard him because we in here. We heard him because we in here. Now, we learned a whole entirely different language before we got here. So some things we still got to learn what's being said. But even if we don't know the 100% of it, I know enough to know that he said it. I'm doing it. That's all I got to know. He said it. I'm doing it. Like Officer Mataza Akara always said, one of the first things he said to me, for me, he was like, when it come to following these laws, statutes, and commandments, because we got Captain Natajat Nashah, because we got Officer Urash Shema, it makes it a lot easier on us. Why? All we got to do is follow orders. That's it. All I do is follow orders. No matter if I understand all of them, no matter if I like all of them, I just got to follow orders. Why? Because I know those orders are given from the Most High, given down to them, given to the men that's been placed over me. And it's the same thing with the sisters and so forth. And that's that brotherhood, that's that sisterhood, that's that love. Walking. I'm walking. I know the man in front of me follows the Most High. I ain't got to worry so much about him falling to no hole, right? Because he following the Most High. The Most High is not going to lead us into no hole. We follow so many of these other people. We follow the oppressor. We follow the pastors. We follow the politicians. And they'll lead you into the hole. Everybody see you fall in the hole. We'll climb out the hole, the ones who make it, and jump right back in line and follow them again. That's the influence, the witchcraft of this oppressor here. That's how to say confession is good for the soul. So I appreciate you saying that, Sister Raya. She said normalize sin. Exactly. Sin is normal to us. Sin is normal. Being wicked is normal. Not listening to the Most High, that's a normal thing for us. Listening to the Most High, doing what he says do, that's not normal. So monogamy seems normal. Why? Because the oppressor says so. Following the law, statute, according to the law, statute, commandment, that's not normal. That's abnormal. It's abnormal to leave your brother, your sister. It's abnormal for a brother to say, I'm done with this sister, I'm going to pass around to another brother. How you know that's abnormal? Because that sister, that same sister, that's somebody auntie, that's somebody mother, that's another brother, sister. You wouldn't want that to happen to your sister. So how could you do it to another sister? But we do it all the time because it's normal to us. We've been taught that. We've been taught it's normal. But I appreciate that admission, or I appreciate that, Sister Aqua Raya. All right, so I've been running my mouth like usual, and again, that's just how it is when you get to them laws, statutes, and commandments, and that's what this class is all about, though. So I don't feel bad when we don't get through everything that I planned down, because I think the Lord be wanting. It's all about what the Lord wants to come out. So again, in your participation, everybody's participation, the questions, the participation, that dictates how the class is going to go. That dictates what the Lord wants to come out. That's the spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's the spirit of the Most High. That dictates what the Lord wants to bring out to everybody. And so I always encourage everybody, if it's on your mind, say it. If you got a question, say it. Reason being, that's what we're here for. So we talked about a couple of things. Talked about how this ever all tied back to us not doing what the Most High said do. Couple of things I wanted to bring out. And I'll probably get to them a little bit faster just because of where we at now. Last week we talked about, we was in Leviticus, we're pretty heavy last week, and we went over the different things you're supposed to eat, different things you're not supposed to eat, because we're defining what it is to be us, what it is to be an Israelite, not so much black, Native Indian, not so much black, Native Indian, or Latino or Latina, but to be what Israelite, what the Lord called us to be. And we talked a little bit about how hottest summer ever. You got more earthquakes than you ever had. If you ever look and get a chance to pull that up, it's thousands and thousands of earthquakes happening every day. Every day. Once they get like over a 2.3, a 2.3, 2.5, then they're in a different classification. And even that 2.3, that 2.5, it's hundreds and hundreds of those that's happening every day. So when the Bible speaks of earthquakes in diverse places, wars, rumors of wars, we are in that time now. This is that time. So it's more important now than ever. Our brotherhood and our sisterhood get strengthened. It's more important now more than ever that we do what the Lord says do. We follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, that we tithe, that we follow the dietary law, that we love one another, how we want to be loved, how I love my brother, my sister, how I love myself is more important than ever. And one of the things that I was going to bring out, who's ever heard of Jubilee before? Who's ever heard of Jubilee? Give me a 1 in the chat if you've heard of Jubilee before. And we're going to touch on it real quick. Who's ever heard of Jubilee before? If you've heard of Jubilee before, just give me a 1 in the chat. And I'm going to get ready to pull the scriptures up to talk about it a little bit, where we want to be at for that. That's what I want. I got a 1. Officer Mataz Zachariah says 1. Sister Rod says 1. My rib says 1. Now you've heard of before. What is it? Who can tell me what it is? Because see, like just like love, it's a lot of stuff that we hear. And we don't realize, or we don't know that that the origin of it. When I say the oppressor steals everything from us, everything has been stolen from us. Everything has been stolen from us. We created civilization, hygiene, and all that's us. That's us. All that is us. Even though they spent generations and generations trying to dehumanize us, to make us actual animals and beasts, we still maintain our humanity. That's the Most High. Why? Because everything originates with us. The Lord gave us the knowledge, and everybody else stole from it, took bits and pieces of it. So who can tell me what Jubilee is? I got 3 1s in there. I got Officer Matazah, Sister Raya, my rib that says 1. Can y'all tell me what Jubilee is? And while y'all typing in, telling me what it is, now I ain't see no lies in there. I seen some 1s. I ain't seen no 2s. And like always, again, if you don't know something, that's fine. There's no wrong answers in here, unless you come up with one of the more fake Israelite groups. But for us, there's no wrong answers in here. This is how we learn. And that's a very, very spiritual thing. How Captain Natazad Nasha always says, that's a spiritual thing. I don't know, or Khan, I do know. That's a spiritual thing, because that's how you learn. If you ask your child, a baby, you know how to tie your shoes, and he says, "Yep," and then he get to tie them, and he don't know how to get them rabbit ears, he don't know how to tie them, he can never learn. He'll never learn. You might have heard him say, "Yeah," and keep going. Might not even touch it no more. But if he says, "No, I don't learn," that opens up the door. That's the opportunity for you to teach him, and teach him the correct way. So that's a very spiritual thing. If you don't know, there's nothing wrong. That's a great answer when you do not know, because that's how you can learn. A lot of us thought we knew what love was. Now the ones in the class now, y'all know what love is. But everybody that knows what love is in here, I'm almost 100% positive. You know somebody in the world who has no idea what it is. All right, so for time's sake, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up for you. We're gonna go to Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 4. Leviticus chapter 25 in verse 4. Jubilee came along every seven years or so. And Jubilee had a purpose. Jubilee, we're gonna try to get to everything in here. But I might paraphrase and go through a little bit faster just so you can kind of get the gist of it, and we can get to some of these other scriptures that I got wrote down. But let's go. Leviticus chapter 25, verse 4. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath. Sabbath is rest, a Sabbath of rest unto the land. So even the land had a Sabbath. Even the land had a rest. The Lord rested on the Sabbath. That's the day that we worship. We're supposed to rest. Even the land had a Sabbath of rest. A Sabbath for the Most High. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard. What does that mean? Not that neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard. Who knows what that means? In the 7th year, shall be but in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for the Lord. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard. Who can tell me what that's referring to? To sow thy field and prune thy vineyard. All right, Jubilee comes from the Hebrew word Yahweh, which means ram's horn, trumpet. Okay. Sister Nazamana says no working on the land or farming. Exactly. So just like we're supposed to rest on the Sabbath day, the land, we're supposed to give the land a rest as well. A lot of things that you see, like I said, the hottest summer. You see all the different earthquakes. You see the flooding. You see it's hot because they cut all the doggone trees down. Think about it. Trees grow out the land. You could cut one tree down over here, leave this alone over here. Give enough time, that tree will grow back. It's replenished. The Lord made the earth perfect in that sense. It replenishes itself. It fixes itself. It heals itself. So just like Sister Nazamana said, no working on the land, no farming. Officer Mumtaz Al-Khawaja said, don't sow anything in the land so the soil can rest. Exactly. Because they don't allow the soil to rest, because the oppressor is a greedy bastard. I think I can say bastard because the oppressor is so greedy. Because he's so greedy, because he can never, ever have enough. And he's put that same spirit on us that we can never, ever have enough. We think about just ourselves. We don't care about the ramifications behind it. See, if I love myself, I love my brother, I love my sisters, I know it's regeneration. I know I got to come back here. I know my kids are going to be here. Well, I can't cut the land down. I can't cut all the trees down so there's no trees for them. I got to give the land time to rest so it can replenish itself, so it'll still be here for them, so it'll still be here for me when I come back. That's brotherhood, that's sisterhood, that's love. That's not American. That's not this oppressor. That's not what they believe. They believe in consuming, chopping up, killing, unaliving everything. No reason for animals to be extinct. Why is an animal extinct? Because the oppressor can never, ever have enough. And as a result of him never, ever having enough, not ever being able to let the land just rest. This is why we have all the earthquakes. This is one of the results, or one of the reasons why we have all the different earthquakes and the flooding. And it's the hottest summer on record. And the earth is just crying out for just to rest. The Bible says you can ask the animals, and they'll tell you who the devil is. You can ask the earth, it's going to tell you who the devil is. The only people that don't know who the devil is, is blacks, Latinos, and natives, so-called blacks, Latinos, and native Indians. We're the only ones that don't know. The rest of this earth knows who the devil is, who the biggest deceiver is, who the greedy dragon, that savage beast, that animal. Everybody else knows who it is. Everything and everybody else knows who it is except for us. Verse 5, that which groweth of his own according of the harvest thou shalt not reap, neither gather the grapes of thy vine undressed, for it is a year of rest unto the land. So that when it talks about that jubilee, that's what it's talking about. I'm trying to see, I'm gonna get down to it. Okay, verse 7. No, I'm sorry, verse 6. I skipped 6. And the Sabbath of the land shall be meat for you. Meat meaning good. It's going to be good for you, for thee, and for thy servant, and for thy maid, and for thy hired servant. Again, that brotherhood, that sisterhood. This is good for everybody. And for thy stranger that sojourneth with thee. This is going to be good for everybody. This is why the Bible says that when the wicked bear rule, the earth mourns. Everybody is mourning when the wicked is ruled, when he suppresses in charge. But when the when the righteous are in charge, everybody's going to rejoice. They'll rejoice when we get in charge. As much as the oppressor hates us and can't stand us, or doesn't love us and can't stand us, as much as the other nations take advantage of us and can't stand us, everybody else is going to do better. They are going to do better when the oppressor's in chains. Everybody's going to do that. Every other nation will do better. The earth will do better. The animals will do better. The other heathen nations will do better when the oppressor is in chains and we are in charge. And it was always set up that way. It was always set up that way, but we didn't believe it and we didn't follow and we didn't do what the Lord told us to do to be in charge. Sister Nazama and I said, Salakia, so it's like healing to regenerate back to its natural state. Exactly. This earth will heal itself. Your body will heal itself. It will heal itself. It's the toxins that we put in. This place puts formaldehyde, carcinogens. Carcinogens are cancer-causing agents in food for the color, for the preservation. Like your corn, maize, the corn, the fruits. None of this stuff is in the state that it should be in. None of it is. Everything has a certain level of poison, a toxicity in it. Why? Because they are so greedy. They are so greedy. They want it faster. They want more of it. They want to be able to capitalize off. And then the crazy part about it is all for themselves. America is the quote unquote richest place in the world. Richest place in the world. Why are we suffering the way that we're suffering? Why? 80% of the entire 80% of the East Coast, or 80% of the country lives on the East Coast. You have virtually states where there's nobody at. But we sit in traffic. Salaka, your commute for work might be 2 hours. Don't let it rain like it did today. Don't let it rain. Oh, you really gonna sit in traffic then? All this is about playing chaos, playing design, because that's just how greedy, how evil, how wicked, how selfish this oppressor is. There's no reason for it. There's no reason whatsoever for it. The only reason is because they're in charge. But yeah, it will heal itself. It will regenerate itself. It wouldn't be no global warming. Why? Because, okay, bet we cut off this part of the land. Okay, well, we're going to touch that. We're going to leave that land alone until those trees grow back. We pay for houses when wood is free. It grows out the ground. We pay for water when water falls freely from the sky. That's how greedy this oppressor is. And the water that they collect that falls from the sky, they put carcinogens, cancer-causing agents inside. You can look at a bottle of water and read the list of chemicals. Half of them you can't even read. Can't even drink tap water no more. Can't even drink tap water. You can look at, if you watch television, you got to be brave to watch television. You watch television, I'll be damned if a commercial don't come by and say, have you ate this? Have you taken this medicine? Have you used this? And if you have, they're going to give you the long list of what's going to happen to you. Then they'll give you a little number you can call for a lawsuit later on. All because of how greedy this oppressor is. All because of how callous, how heartless this oppressor is. When again, if we would just allow, if we would do what the Lord said do, we wouldn't have to worry about those things. We wouldn't have to worry about it. So when it's referring to Jubilee, this is one of the aspects of Jubilee. What else we got? Okay, verse 7. And for thy cattle and for the beasts that are in thy land shall all the increase thereof be meat. So again, you would allow the animals to regenerate and come back. Everything would come back. It wouldn't be no extinct animals. You wouldn't have none of that. You really think the Lord created certain animals for them to be gone and never be here no more? The only one that's supposed to be extinct that will be extinct is going to be Esau. It's going to be their suppressor. But you think about everything that was created, and if the fact that we are still here, the fact that we still here, it shows you how perfect the law, the law, statutes, and commandments, how perfect the Lord made this, made us, made everything. The only reason that it's in the deteriorated state that it's in is because its oppressor is in charge. That's it. Verse 8. And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years. In the space of 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years. So 7 times 7. So 7, again, that 7th year, that was going to be your Jubilee. And this is where you get that Jubilee from in verse 9. And then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. In the day of atonement shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. All right, so this is what it's talking about when it's talking about that Jubilee, but it was deeper than just that. Who else outside of the land getting the rest? What else happened every 7 years? Who else knows what happened as a result of that Jubilee? Because we finna jump on that in the next verse, I believe. Who else? Who can give me an idea? What else? What else happens with Jubilee? So not only is the land gonna get a rest, who else gonna get a rest? And let's get to it. Uh-oh. Sister Nazam Mana is on it. Sister Nazam Mana is on it. The people gonna get a rest. We go to these slaves, we work from dusk till dawn. And every year it increases, it gets more and more. Inflation goes up, price of milk goes up, price of a house goes up, price of a car goes up, price of gas goes up, everything goes up. Your pay stays the same. the same. So you are in debt. If you pass on anything to your children, it's probably going to be more debt. The people get a rest. So we're going to read verse 10. Verse 10 says, and ye shall hallow the 15th year and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you. And ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. See, if I owe Officer Mataza Akara money, if I owed him something, right? Be it for land, be it for food or so forth, I could work that off with him, right? But let's say that I was working this off with Officer Mataza Akara. Now we getting upon that 7th year, and I still haven't paid him quite back yet. When we hit that 7th year, I don't owe him anything else anymore. All that debt is wiped away. That's clear. If I said bet my house, you can use my house, my land, as me paying it off. When we hit that 7th year, that's not just his house, his land anymore. You know how when you put up stuff for collateral in this evil, wicked society, and then that period comes and you ain't got the money or whatever back, and they snatch your stuff. They might take your car if you put it up for collateral. They might take your house if you put that up for collateral. Well, with our law, with us, it didn't work like that. So now let's say I put my land up. I told Officer Akara, you can grow whatever crop on this plot of land. This is yours for whatever term because I want to pay this debt off to you. Okay, so by me doing that, now we done hit this 7th year. At that 7th year, Officer Akara gonna say Shalom, the water. He gonna say the water, but that's yours now. That goes back now. Everything is reset. Imagine here in this society here. Imagine if every 7 years, all your debt was wiped away. So like, imagine that. How wonderful, how beautiful would that be? Every 7 years, your debt is wiped away. Wouldn't there be rest? That'd be a beautiful thing, wouldn't it? All those bills you had, we're gonna wipe that away. It's been 7 years. You've been paying it for 7 years. That car note, been paying it for 7 years. Time to wipe that away. It gives, so not only did the land get a rest, but the people got a rest or whatever. But people got rest also. This is an Israelite thing. Being in debt for the rest of your life, not having anything to pass down to your children, not having an inheritance is an Israelite thing. That's an Israelite thing. That's our culture. Being able to pass down this business, this industry, this state to my child for his children, and so on and so on and so on. That's an Israelite thing. Being able to tell my brothers and sisters, no, you don't owe me anything anymore. Your debt is wiped clean. You can start over. You. That's an Israelite thing. We got to get back to what the Lord gave us, because what the Lord gave us was perfect. In a society like that, how can you not prosper? How can you not love the way that you're supposed to love? That's an Israelite thing. And so like when it talks about Jubilee, that's what it's talking about. Verse 11, a Jubilee shall that 15 year be unto you. You should not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself, nor gather the grapes in of it of thy vine undressed. For it is a Jubilee, it should be holy unto you. You shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. So again, this gives everything a chance to rest. It gives the land the rest, the people rest. And then in verse 13, it says, in the year of this Jubilee, ye shall return every man unto his possession. So this is again, this is what Israelite culture is. This is what our culture truly is. This is what being an Israelite is about. This is an Israelite thing. Last one, verse 14. And if thou sell unto thy neighbor, and then we learned last week, neighbor being the children that I can, neighbor being your brother. Neighbor is not just the person that lives next door to you. Neighbor is going to be your brother, your sister, another Israelite. If thou sell unto thy neighbor, if you sell anything to your neighbor, or buyest anything of thy neighbor's hand, ye shall not oppress one another. We're not supposed to oppress one another. Oppression is an oppressive thing. That's why they call the oppressor. Oppressor, being an oppressor, that's an American thing. It always bothers me when you see one of us open up a business. We always wonder why our businesses can never succeed. We've been talking that buy black, sell black since I was born. Since I was born, I done heard that mess, and I've never seen it work. Never. Every year you get some new cat to come in with a whole new idea. Your Dr. Umars, your child abusers, polites, your Tariq Nasheeds or whatever. You get all of them to come in with the same garbage every time. We gonna buy black, we gonna sell black, and it never ever works. Reason why it never ever works, we always try to oppress one another. When a brother comes up with a business, first thing he does is market it towards his own people. I'm gonna make money off my own people. But if you think about that oppressor, when an oppressor comes up with a business, oppressor will come up with something and they'll put our face on the box, and we'll spend all our money to go buy it. Don't none of his people buy it. He take all that money and get that money to his people. He done made all that money off us. We don't think like that. We think to oppress one another. We follow because we follow the oppressor. We follow his ways. We don't follow the ways of this Bible. We don't follow the law, statutes, commandments like the Lord told us. And when I'm reading these, I'm reading this Jubilee, these are laws. This is what the Lord told us to do. This is how you build a nation, how you maintain a nation. This is how you build a people. You maintain a people. This is love. This is your real black excellence. This is your Israelite excellence right here. If we can get off trying to be African Americans, if we can stop trying to be Mexicans and Latinos and Latinas, and we can stop trying to be this Indian from this tribe, if we can stop doing that and stop being Israelites, we'd be so much better off. We'd be all right. We'd be good. We'd be straight. I'm gonna skip down because there's a certain part I want to get to prove this to go a little bit further into this oppression part. I'm gonna go down to verse 35. Verse 35. And actually, before I go to 35, let me read 17. Let me read 25 and 17. Leviticus 25 and 17 says, "Ye shall not therefore oppress one another." I just had to put that one out. I had to read that one. "But thou shalt fear thy power, for I am the Most High power. I am the Most High your power." He put emphasis on that. You will not oppress one another. We've learned to oppress one another from the slave master, from the oppressor. And because we do his will, we do his bidding. I gotta read 18 also. And I got it. That's the reason why I marked it in my paperwork. I gotta read 18. 18 says, "Wherefore ye shall do my statutes," them laws, statutes, and commandments that we go over every time in the beginning of Brotherhood class, "and keep my judgments and do them, ye shall dwell in the land in safety." When Sister Nazama and I told us about what happened with her earlier today, that wasn't a safe situation. It definitely wasn't safe for the brother who was unalive out there. It wasn't safe for the brother who sold the drugs, for the brother who got the drugs. It wasn't safe for none of the other brothers and sisters in the community because drugs were sold, being used and sold there. But when we read right here in 18, it says, "Wherefore ye shall do my statutes and keep my judgments and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land in safety." Being in safety, that's an Israelite thing. Being in danger the way that we done all grew up, being in danger, living in danger, being accustomed to being around danger, that's the oppressor. That's an American thing. That ain't got nothing to do with us. And we only involve ourselves in that. We're only in danger. We live in danger because we do what the oppressor says to do. We don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High in this Bible. We don't be good brothers and sisters. We don't foster safe neighborhoods and communities and families. Why? Because we do what the oppressor says. We follow these lying Christian churches. We follow these lying imams and mosques. We follow these lying religions, these other nations. We follow astrology. We follow numerology, all the different ologies, but we don't follow what this Bible says to do. And as a result, we don't be in safety. All right, so now let me go down. I want to get to 35. Bet. So Leviticus 25 and 35. And if thy brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. We should relieving each other of our pain, and so forth. That's an Israelite thing. Helping one another, being there for one another. Brother, you hungry? You ain't gotta be hungry. Come right here. Brother, what you mean you got nowhere to stay? I got a place to stay. You if we did that, we would be fine. We'd be taken care of. But we've been taught to be Americans and individuals. Yea, though he be a stranger. Don't matter if you know him. We taught that our family is our family that we grew up with. And most of them can't stand. But everybody else on the outside, even though they look like us, same blood as us, we don't consider them family. We don't consider them brothers and sisters. That's a plan by the oppressor. Who was sojourner being a traveler, that he may live with thee. Because we don't live in safety, it's not safe for us to open up our houses and our doors to everybody. Why? Because we don't know what's going to happen if we do. And it's probably not a safe situation. Why? Because we selling drugs, we using drugs, we doing everything that the church taught us to do. We're not following the law, statutes, and commandments. Who knows what that word waxing means? Who knows what that word? If you know what that word waxing means, because that's one of the ones you don't see too often. So who knows what the word waxing? If thy brother be waxing poor, who knows what that word waxing means? So I'm gonna pause that real quick. I'm gonna drop this one, and we're gonna pull that out. Whenever you come across anything in this Bible, anything in the world, actually anything at all, this oppressor is he tricks us with his words. He tricks us with his smooth words and how he talks and so forth. And as a result, that church teaches us not to have any kind of reading comprehension. So we'll read something, we automatically apply what we feel as opposed to getting the actual definition for it. So that word waxing, let's pull that up real quick. Let's pull it up so we know what that word means. It says, if any brother be waxing poor, if thy brother be waxing poor. Let's pull that up. Okay, Sister Naam said vex, stressed out, down and out. Okay, I feel you. I'm with you. You are right there. So, waxing. See how close Sister Nazam now was. Waxing, made or covered with wax. That's not what we're talking about. Definition 2, resembling wax, such as definition A, easily molded, pliable. B, seeming to lack vitality or animation, pallid. C, luxuriously smooth. We're looking for that 2A and B, which is right along the lines of what Sister Nazama now was saying. If we go to pliable means supple enough to bend freely or repeatedly without breaking. Yielding readily to others. Adjustable to varying conditions. So you think about a brother that's like Sister Nazam Anna was saying, vexed or stressed out, down and out. You see brothers on the street that's at the gas station with the sign, or if they're not fortunate enough to have a sign, and they just down and out. They're very pliable. They pliable mean they can go either kind of way. They just want some help. If you give them help, you give them help. If you don't give them help, I'm gonna lay here until I get some damn help. Pliable, yielding readily to others. So that's what it's talking about. If you come across a brother like that, if we would have come across one of our brothers like that, then we supposed to relieve them. We're supposed to relieve them of that pain. We're supposed to relieve them of that vexation that they're under right there, of that stress, them being down and out. So that's what it's referring to. So Sister Nazama, not give her a hand. She's absolutely correct. Now let's get back to that verse real quick. So if thy brother be waxing poor and falling in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve, then you shall relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger. It don't matter if he's a stranger. though he or a sojourner. It don't matter if you're a traveler, you've never seen him before, that he may live with thee. This is how we are supposed to be as a people. That's an Israelite thing. That's an Israelite thing. See, when you got drugs in the community, you got everything else in the community, you don't have the safety of the Lord. It makes it impossible for you to do what the Lord says do. It makes it impossible for you to relieve a brother and sister because you don't know if he's gonna rob you to get more drugs for that habit. You don't know. You don't know if he's a child abuser. And when I say abuser, I'm speaking to all types of abuse, physical abuse. If he's a child abuser, so how can you bring him in there around your children? Everything decays, everything deteriorates for us as a people when we don't follow what the Lord says to do. Verse 36, thou no usury of him. Who knows what that word usury means? That's going to be one of the last definitions we get for the night. Who knows what that word usury means? Take thou no usury of him. See, the fake, the Jew, the you-ish people, the fake you-ish people, they utilize this one a lot. Oh, they utilize this one. They believe in this. They believe in this part wholeheartedly. I saw a story some months back up in New York. I want to say it's is it Brooklyn? I want to say it's Brooklyn. I might be wrong. Brooklyn, Bronx, one of the biggest housing complex projects or whatever. You would think that it's us in there, but it's actually them. Oh, they own all of those buildings, all of those. And they let their people come in. That you-ish woman, Amalek, she'd come in, go down there, get assistance, saying that she ain't got no husband. You know, she got a husband at home. Get assistance, or the house is gonna be free. She paying $2 for rent. Now the other you-ish people own the building, so they getting a check from the government for owning the doggone building. They don't let nobody in the building, but there are people inside the building. So she comes in. Now she got a virtually a free doggone a house because they be houses inside these doggone apartments. Then she go right down. Her husband go right now. He work in the damn diamond district. They don't practice that usury amongst each other. Now they charge you an arm and a leg, and Officer Mutaz on it. He says charging interest. Charging interest. Let's get the definition on that one. So we're gonna go right back to that Merriam-Webster's dictionary. And what I want to do is I want to put usury in there. They took our knowledge. They took our history. My rib says that it's all over New York. Exactly. Now they quick to get on television and talk about us being welfare queens and we a dredge on the system and this and that. But they own all those bills. They get all that Section 8 money, guaranteed, and don't let nobody in there but they people. Got their own schools, even though that's illegal in America, but they got their own schools. Oh yeah, the Shivas, I believe, they got their own doggone schools. Sister Na says charging interest on exactly. That's that interest. That's right. Sister Nazamana says Salakia. So you're saying coming up off their exactly. It is in the form. It's coming up off their misery. So you look at it like this. So let's say you in a bind, you work. You know what I'm saying? You go to work every day. You go to your slavery every day. But this bill coming up, you got the money for it, something unexpected, car broke down or whatever. You got a big purchase, big expense. So you go to the bank, you go here to get a loan. Okay, you might borrow $2,500. They know you're in a tough spot. They know you're hurting. They know you can't get it from nowhere else because don't nobody else like to give us money. They don't lend us money. So you can't go nowhere else and get it. I'll give you the $2,500. Well, by the way, you're going to pay me $5,000 to get it. Now, if you hurt and you're in a bad situation, what you gonna do? You're gonna pay that $5,000. You're gonna pay that $5,000. Why? Because you ain't gonna know where else to get it from. What, you gonna lose your car now? Now you can't go to work. Now you can't go to your slave at all. So now you got no money coming in. Yeah, you got no choice. You're gonna come about that 5 stacks now. So for the $2,500, I'm gonna charge you 5 stacks. So I'm gonna give you money, but you're gonna give me double that. That's usury. So you are absolutely correct, Sister Nazamana, coming up off them, and they do that to us every day, all day, every day, all day. Rich people don't spend no money. Always keep that in mind. Rich people do not spend money. Donald Trump filed bankruptcy, I don't know how many times, which means I'm going to run the tab up, build this building, build this business, and guess what? Oh, I'm not going to pay for that. Bankruptcy. Bankrupt. I ain't paying for nothing. Ain't paying for nothing. Start all over again with millions and millions and millions of dollars. But if you need $2,500 to fix that car, if you need that, I'm gonna charge you $5,000. And guess what? You're gonna pay me, because if you don't, I'm gonna mess your credit up. You'll never be able to get it again. I'm gonna mess your credit up, and depending on if you try to go get another slavery, you might not even be able to get that doggone slavery because your credit messed up now. That's usury. That's usury. That's evil. That's wicked. Sister Na said payday loans. Exactly. Sister Na also said car title loans. Exactly. I'm gonna get you when you need it the most. When you need it the most, I'm gonna tax you. Officer Mataza Akra said banking system 101. Damn. And what he's saying right now is so heavy. That's banking 101. That's the basis of it. That's the whole basis of banking. But if you a millionaire, billionaire, if you one of them good old boys, guess what? You don't have to worry about that. And like we learned yesterday with Officer Mataza Akara's class, the banking system was built off what? Off those slaves. The insurance company was built off what? Off those slaves. Off your assault, of your unaliving, off the robbery of you, off the exploitation of you, your people, your blood, your sweat, your actual blood, sweat, and tears is what the banking system was built off of, what the financial system was built off of, what the insurance companies was built off of. But if you need some money, if you get in a hard spot because of this oppression, guess what? I'm going to tax you. Oh, I'm going to tax you. That's banking 101. My rib says that they've been getting over for years. Welfare, housing, stealing. They do it all the time. There was actually a lawsuit. The state of New York took the Jewish people to court for doing the exact same thing, because that's illegal. How you gonna have that for a discriminatory law, if I'm not mistaken? How you gotta hold all these buildings, but you don't let nobody stand up but your people? Your people. If you know anything about New York, Bronx, Brooklyn, and so forth, you might be trying to get a place there. You got a baby there, your rib or whatever, trying to get a place there, and you might be on a waiting list for 4 years, 3 to 4 years waiting list. They people ain't on no waiting list, none whatsoever. They're gonna get right on up in there, paying $2 doggone rent, Section 8, but they are the richest people on the planet. On all your entertainment, all your media, your media, your music, they own all of that. They run in the diamond district. They got jewelry stores. That's them. Richest. They are the chief house of Esau, of the Edomites, of the oppressor. That's why a lot of the oppressor don't even like them. They built everything off of usury, but they don't tax each other. Sister Nazama says, so it's designed to keep us enslaved in all forms of fact. Exactly. 100%. Can't we? How you saying? I used to always say when I was in the world, can't win for losing. Can't win for losing. You do everything right. You could do everything right because you eating pork or whatever. Come up with a health condition. You got $100,000 bill. $100,000 bill. You could have been paying insurance. It's people that's been working years, decades on a job. The job will sell the pension that they've been paying it to. They've been taking money out their check, right? Going to this pension. So when I do find and stop, I got some money to live off of. They will take the company, sell it, or they'll sell the pension to another place. So all this money, your money gone. Now you start over with nothing. You get nothing when you leave. And they might fire you behind it because they done sold the company. You get absolutely nothing. They get the money from it. They gonna benefit off of that hand over fist. That's the financial system. Like Officer Mataza Akara said, 101. This is what they do. And when we look at the definition of usury, usury is the lending of money with an interest charge for its use. Our law says we're not supposed to do that with one another, especially the lending of money at exorbitant interest rates. They did the same thing with the housing industry. There's a lot of people outside of the red line. I don't know if y'all ever seen the movie. Which one? It wasn't Get Out. It's the one he did after Get Out. That has to do a lot with them when they were trying to get us to integrate, get with them and go into their neighborhoods and so forth, and get houses or whatever. And we would get these houses. You might get that house, and they might have an interest rate 10%, right? House cost you $100,000. You're gonna pay 10% interest, $110,000 for your mortgage. But by the time you get finished, that 10% done went up to 95%. So now that 100,000 houses would have been 110,000 with the 10%. Well, now that 110,000 house going to be 195,000, almost 200,000. And then if you ain't pay that all by a certain amount of time, that's going to jump up again. It might be 210%. They did this, and this mess was legal. You had so many of us that lost our homes. They've been, grandma done paid for it her whole life. Granddad done worked her whole life, been paying for it. Get right to the end of it. Interest rate go sky high. They can't afford it no more. Everybody loses. This is the oppressor. This is who they are. The credit cards and so forth. Credit cards was an idea that came up from us. Like all ideas come, all inventions come from us. They've taken that and used that to supplement your income and to get you deeper and deeper and deeper into debt. A house used to cost, a whole house. You can go online and Google like 1960s, 1970s. A house cost you about $5,000. You are hard pressed to find you a house now for less than $250,000. Same house, same space. And that house back in the day might last a lot longer than the house you get today. This is all a hustle. This is all another form of slavery. It's all just a different form of it. Debt is just another form of different use of slavery. The Bible gave us rules, law, statutes, and commandments based on everything. Everything has a law for the Lord. This truly is that our history book truly shows us how to build a nation up. So in our laws, our statutes, and our commandments, if Officer Mataza, if I went to Officer Mataza Quran and say, hey, brother, I need $1,000, right? He said, cool, I got you. And outside of the Jubilee, let's say in 6 years, right? 6 years come up, and I got the money. I done paid him back $1,000. Then I go, look, I'm gonna give you $2,000. I appreciate what you did for me. You know what Officer Mataza Quran is supposed to tell me? Get the hell up out of here. He supposed to go like Jesus, how Jesus told the disciples, Satan, get thee behind me. You know I loaned you $1,000. All you gonna give me back is $1,000. Because that's brotherhood, that's sisterhood, that's love, that's how it's supposed to be. We done got so used to this oppressor, we done become oppressors ourselves. We're not supposed to tax each other. Now, we can tax other nations whatever we want. But each other, the brothers and sisters, us, it's against our law for me to tax you. It's against our law for Officer Mataza Al-Qarab to tell me, hey, man, just give me $1,250 back for it. He can't do that. That's against our law. I can't do that. That's against our law. I put him at risk and me at risk in the judgment trying to give him more than what he gave me. That's not brotherly. That's not sisterly. That's not love. That's not love. That's not a Israelite thing. There's so many things inside the law that's there to protect us, that keep us safe, like we read, to give us safety, to protect us. But because we do not follow the law, statutes, and commandments, even if we did this one part right here, if we did this one part right here, we'd be so much better off. We wouldn't have to go to the oppressor. How many entertainers, sorry entertainers, sorry athletes, Oprahs, your Jay-Z, they got billions. Why they can't open up their own institution? Hey, brother, you need such and such? Cool. You come over here and you need a car, I'll get you the car. Just give my money back. They're not going to lose no money. But you'll be able to help your brothers and sisters. They don't got to go to the oppressor. They don't have to pay $5,000 for that $2,500 no more. Why we don't do that? Why they don't do it? Because they follow what the oppressor said. They don't do what the Lord. They don't do what the Most High said do. They don't love you because they don't know what love is. And even if they do know what the Lord say love is, they practice the love that the oppressor taught them. That's not an Israelite thing. We got to get back to being Israelites. Now we a little bit over the time. We're a little bit over the time. As usual, I ain't get to everything, but I got to a good bit of what I wanted to get to. I definitely want to see y'all to see what usury was, and again how it's protections, it's safety all throughout the law, statutes, and commandments. Brotherhood and sisterhood is love. Protection and safety is love. We can have protection and safety. What Sister Nazam and I described earlier, boy, we love each other. We got protection and safety. She don't never see that. Children don't never see that. Not in our community. The oppressor might unalive everybody in there because that's what they do. They savage beasts. They might see that, but we would never, ever, ever, ever see it in ours if we just did what the law, statutes, and commandments told us to do. The wild out of one. You know, I'll be watching your class. You be getting me hyped up for the next day. You know what I'm saying? So the wild out of one, no doubt. And the water to all of you, because again, all of you make the class. The Bible tells us to teach to the wind. We be out there on the street And our own people walk by and they don't want to hear nothing we got to say. Our own people walk by and they cuss us out. Our own people walk by. It's a video. And make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to videos. I'm trying to get a little bit better with them shorts and so forth. So we got a couple of different shorts, a couple of TikToks. If you're not subscribed to TikTok, I ain't know nothing about it. I mean, I knew about TikTok, but I wasn't on none of that mess until, I got assigned with the task of getting our TikTok page straight. So again, go on to TikTok, go on to Instagram, go on our YouTube. We need y'all likes, y'all shares, y'all comments. But it's a video that we shot that we did where this older brother's with a walker and Officer Mataza Akara. I know you remember it because I was messing with Officer Mataza Akara after it happened, saying how he let that old dude get him like that. But came up, F Christ, you know what I'm saying, going off. Can't even halfway get down the street with his walker. Took the flyers and walked halfway down the block through the flyers and trash. Just evil, mean spirited. And this is what we get from our people. Now imagine we out there the whole time saying the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, fighting for our people, trying to pull our people in. Sometimes he remember that one. He remember that one. But this is what we go through. So by y'all being in here, he said he got me too loud. He showed it's slow motion. So y'all go, by all me, go on there and check that video out. Leave your comments on it. Got him in slow motion. But this is what we battle being out there. So by y'all being in here, the Bible tells us the priest should win. You know what I'm saying? The Bible also says about the foolishness of preaching, about the foolishness of these classes, even though our enemies get thousands and thousands of likes, about the foolishness of these classes. This is how we build our nation, how we get our nation back. So the water to y'all, the water to the Akwaf and Akwathian for being in here. The water, Ayanaba, Sister Nazama Na, Yanaba, the water for sharing with us. Your story, what happened to you, and it says I'm gonna bring it up next class. I meant to bring it up last doggone week. I was working. One of the guys I was working with, he saw my shield, told him I was an Israelite and so forth. And he got to talking. I was telling him how we invented some everything, trying to get him to get to the classes because we got a series on there called "The Form of All Things." Jacob is a form of all things. This brother that I was working with. Now I go into detail with it next time. Brother I was working with, the toothpaste. The different toothpastes, tubes that y'all see, those tubes with the little flip top. He was actually in the Navy, an engineer. He was an engineer. He worked with the ANC, American National Can, the company, when they came out with that tube. Now you see that tube everywhere. They've used that tube. You got it for toothpaste, and it's used for all different kinds of things now. He showed me an article, and I couldn't even find an article online, but it just so happened the brother was fortunate enough to take a picture of it back then, and he had it on his phone where he is one of the inventors of that tube. Of that tube. Do you know that brother didn't get a dime for that? Now that tube is used all over the place, everywhere. He didn't get a dime for it. You know why he didn't get a dime for it? Because the other oppressors that he was working with on the team, they had degrees. He didn't have a degree. And because he didn't have a degree, even though it was his idea, he came up with it. He didn't get one dime for it. That's our oppressor. Biggest thief, biggest lie on the planet. But I've been meaning to bring that out now. But again, I'll go into a little bit more next time we get back in class. We are getting to the end now. So I'm going to go ahead and get y'all up out of here. The water again. Trying to see if there's anything else I want to bring out. Of course it is. I was going to get into the character of Esau, but we're going to save those for next time. We're going to stop right here where we at. Put a little pin mark on where we at now. Class might be titled a little different next week. I didn't get a chance to talk about the little girl in Ireland. If you get a chance, pull that up. Now it's an older story that actually happened back in March 2022. Little girl, Olympics. Y'all probably have heard of it at this point. They didn't give her a medal. Little oppressor lady walked through about 15, 16 of them. She was about number 5, number 6. Gave her all them medals. Gymnastics, gave all them medals. Got to the black girl, skipped right over. No medal. And you see her face and how pitiful she looked when she didn't get no medal. She had to stand up there and watch everybody else do it. She get to about the 10th, little Amber, little Becky, run out of medals. Go back, get some more medals. Come back, start right there where she was at. All the other little oppressors got medals. Never gave a little black girl no medal. Now they say later on, Simone Giles or Biles, whatever her last name is, the Olympics called her and all that. But again, it doesn't change the fact. You imagine that trauma that trauma of being a little girl. You know what I mean? Doing her best. She probably was the best one out there anyway. And you watch everybody else get a medal and not you. That's the effect of following this oppressor. That's joining hands with our oppressor. That's because we don't build and do our own thing. So make sure if you get a chance to pull that up. Also, I gotta show you this. I gotta show you this. I gotta show you this before we get up out of here. See if y'all seen this today. Who saw this today? If you saw this, put a 1 in the chat. Who saw this today? Who saw this? I might try to do a little joint on this a little bit later on today. But who saw this today? Whites only, moms and tots daycare. If you saw it, throw a 1 up in there. If you haven't seen, Officer Mataza, he be on it. He's seen it. He's seen it. Now, if you're not in this class, you're new to this class, if you're not familiar with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, Sister Raya, she's seen it. Our people that's still in the world, that's in them churches or whatever, they see something like this and they're surprised, they're shocked, and they're amazed. Now, if you sat through Officer Mataza Al-Qara''s class last night, you're not shocked and amazed by none of this stuff. You shouldn't be shocked and amazed. This is who the oppressor is. This is who the oppressor always has been. And this is who the oppressor always will be. And the sad part, the crazy part about it, I'm going to read what it says. When I read something like this, it don't upset or bother me at all. Sister Ryan said, good for them so they can leave. See, that's exactly where I'm going, Sister Ryan. That's exactly where I'm going with it. Other people in the world will see this and get mad and outraged and throw their hands up and why? That's wrong. If somebody's throwing a party and they don't like me, they ain't never liked me, they don't abuse my people, hurt my people, I'm not going to get up mad or upset if I don't get an invitation to that party. I wasn't going anyway. America, Martin Luther King, the Christian church has taught us to say, well, I should get invited to the party too. Why would you want to go to the party when they don't like you, they unalive you, they torture, assault, so forth? Why would you even want to go to that party when you can be having your own party with your own people, with your own folk? So I'm right there with you, Sister Ryan, because that's exactly what I said. But I'm going to read it real quick just so you can hear it. If you get a chance, if you haven't seen it, again, make sure you pull this stuff up on your own. When I say stuff like this happen every day, all day, it was about 15 different stories I saw where we got shot or unalive, unarmed by police officers, by other people in the world. Saw one where a police officer shot one of us through the door, just like that oppressor lady did with the mother a couple months back. But it's every day, all day thing. Every day, all day thing. Just like Sister Nazama and I said, it's every day, all day. You just don't hear about it. But it says, white only, moms and tots. Are you looking for somewhere your children can play with others that look like them? Are they tired of being a minority in the schools or daycares? Escape forced diversity and join other proud parents of European children as we create an atmosphere in which our kids can feel like they belong. Invest in your child's sense of well-being and racial identity by giving them the gift of time spent amongst their own people because they deserve it. So I had to read that. I got a scripture that goes with that as well. But again, I maybe I'll start with this next week when we get back in here, and I'll bring that back up. The scripture was talking about us preferring our own, preferring one another, and that's going to be Romans 12:9, I believe. So we'll start there next week. Next week, that's where we'll pick up at. We'll start there. We'll go from there. But if there are no other questions, let me go ahead and get this off the screen. I kind of knew we was going to see more and more stuff like this. Reason being, Sister Nazar Nam said they still have ideas even on that. Hey, tell me about it. Most they exactly. They still have ideas with that because that's an ISUPK idea right there. We need our own Israelite schools. We need our own Israelite daycare. You saw that daycare video I showed, and I know they got under Sister Ryan's skin because she loved them children. She was there with Sister Amanah's son. And look, you would have think they have known each other for years. You know what I'm saying? He was cuddled up over there after eating that big old plate. But When I remember when we talked about that story, lady throwing cheese, hitting a little baby in the face. He ain't got no kind of padding in his high chair. All the other kids got padding in it. And the way he flinched, she had did that before. So by all means, that's what we want. We want our people taking care of our kids. We want us to work for each other. We want to be with each other. I want everything black. Everything black. I don't want the heathen, the oppressor. I don't want them nowhere but out in that plantation, out in that field, working. That's why I want them at. That's what I want. I don't even want them in my kitchen. Moabites will never ever touch another piece of fried chicken. No more rice, none of that. And Lord willing, when we get what we got to get to, when we get this everlasting, they'll never fry no more chicken. Never ever again. Won't be no Korean barbecue. None of that. So I want everything Israelite owned, Israelite bought, Israelite ran and ruled. Because again, when we in charge, the earth rejoices. As long as we in charge, as long as this oppressor is in charge, everybody's going to mourn, and we're going to continue to see the things that we see. So again, if we don't have any more, Sister Rod says, "Con, I will con." Damn right, Aqua, damn right. So if we don't have any more questions or any more anything else going on, we're gonna go ahead and read the announcements, and we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. Let me get them up. I should have pulled them up already. Let me pull them up. Awesome class. Again, I appreciate everybody's participation and everybody's attendance. All right, so where we at? Let's get these announcements. Now, one thing I want to start, I didn't do it tonight. I keep saying I want to do it. I'm going to be biting a little bit off the DC class. Sister Ryan said, no more raisins in a potato salad. Exactly. No more raisin potato salad. No more cucumber sandwiches. No salt in your food. I done seen, so it's one guy to be on Instagram, and he be wearing the glasses in the hat or whatever, watching the oppressive cook. And it'd be amazing to me. When I say they don't need to be allowed in nobody kitchen, they don't need to be allowed in nobody kitchen ever again. So I'm right there with you, Sister Ryan. No more raisins in a potato salad. Keep their asses away from the kitchen. They ain't gonna do nothing but pick cotton, pick sugar cane, and work. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna work. And no suntan lotion. Won't be no suntan lotion. We might get rid of that all together. Won't be no damn suntan lotion. If you need it, perfect, fine. You gonna wish for it. You won't get no suntan lotion. None at all. Let suntan lotion be your bonus, your yearly bonus. You get one bottle of suntan lotion if you work hard all year long. Damn suntan lotion. All right, so let's get these announcements. Let's get these announcements up. All right, where we at? All right. We just went through the Day of Atonement. Congratulations if that was your first Day of Atonement. I know it was different, rough, but we do that for each other. One thing that the general brought out last night, by you doing that, that's that same muscle, that same energy, that same power to do anything else. You can do anything because you got through that Day of Atonement. There's nothing that you can't do for your brother, for your sister, for yourself, and so forth, because you got through that and you did that for somebody else. It's different when you don't have no food, no drink, no water, and you out there hurting. It's a whole different thing when you got it, you looking at it. You thirsty, you looking at a bottle of water. You thirsty, you looking at, you might like Strong. You looking at a bottle of Strong. You can't touch it because they're atonement. You got food in the refrigerator, but you can't touch it because you're doing that for your brother and your sister. And that creates a strength, that same strength we need to be stronger in this brotherhood and this sisterhood. That strengthens our love for each other. All right, so let's get to these announcements. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which their brother and sister will court each other. Back in the day, word court. They court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes. We spoke about tithes. We're talking about those commandments, which is a commandment found in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or the teacher. We also have a priest fund. Priest fund is a free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory in whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Our upcoming holy day, we just got through the Day of Atonement. The next one, I didn't ask if anybody in here was going to the UK, but if you are, hey, make sure you throw one back for you. Throw one back for Officer Yakadai while you there. The next one coming up is going to be the Feast of Tabernacles. This is the 15th day of the 7th month for 8 days, from Friday, September 29th to Saturday, the 7th, Saturday, October 7th. You can find this in Leviticus chapter 23, verses 34 through 44. All right. And with that, all right, if any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. For the sisters, make sure your head is covered when you're in class and the word is coming out. And with that, shalom, Israel. The water, shalom, Israel.